How is everyone doing tonight? Happy New Year. This is the first Dan live stream of the year. It's gonna be a good one, I think. I am short plastic, long cardboard, as I said in a pretty recent video, but I don't have any epic rant really planned or anything. Yeah, I checked my live stream notes. We'll see where the night goes. I had a late stream tonight. Pretty busy day. General spreadsheeting tasks when a new year comes around. Updating consignor sheets on Wednesdays to do the consignor payouts on Thursdays. All the normal things on top of a new set's coming out soon. So I have to add that into my buy list. I have to add that into my wholesale pack. I need to add that in like everywhere. Every time I do it too, it's like I know I'm not doing it the most efficient way possible. So the quickest thing to do is to just do it the clunky old way that I've been doing it. But this time, consciously, I'm trying to go through and like, hey, this isn't optimal every time I have to add something and I have to do it in like 5 different places. Let me make a master sheet somewhere and have everything pull from the one, if that makes sense. If you can sign with me, and I've had a couple people reach out to me today, your sheet likely is showing an import range error right now. I apologize. Literally my entire day I was listed in specifically the CGC Fanatics. Let's actually talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna 2026. I guess I have a little bit of a rant that I'll go on. 2026, I'm gonna do a couple things a little bit differently. One, I have this super duper top secret service that I've been running for a while. What? Oh no. I turned the music off. My wife came down. My wife came and said that how is that coming through? I don't see where my music should have been coming through. How loud was that? Oh no. Oh, that's funny. I wonder if that's gonna get me copyright striked. That's hilarious. I'm probably going to forget all that happened. Probably when this ends, I'll probably go back in and I'll probably cut off the first few minutes of the live stream because I don't know if Joe Diffie is going to I don't know if Joe Diffie's gonna copyright strike me or not. But yeah, you guys just had the pleasure or the displeasure of listening to a little bit of 90s country. Anyways, where was I going? So, hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. Happy New Year. That's really weird. Anyways, pretend like that didn't happen. I guess I'm not listening to country music tonight. But Happy New Year. I am doing a lot of spreadsheet tasks in the new year. New sets coming out. New sets to add to the buy list, to add to the streamers pricing list, to add to the new sales on the weekly Fanatics. If you want to consign with me, here are my rates. One thing that I haven't advertised is that I have a secret service that I've been running for several months now. Not too secret. I've talked about it in many live streams. I post about it in Discord here and there. But I'm going to I'm going to make a video. I teased the video a while ago, and it's actually going to come around in the next month or two. But CGC Fanatics is a service that I've been utilizing heavily. It is not the optimal service for every single card that exists in the world. There is a certain subset of cards that I think work really well with it. I can't say exactly what works best because if people send the same cards I'm sending it makes it work not as well for me. So it is a little bit of like a competitive environment. That's part of what made me caution putting it out wide to everybody. But at some point soon, I'll make a public video. And if you want to jump the line on that, if you don't want to wait for the public video, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, and let me know that you want the information on CGC Fanatics grading. Quick overview, because I don't think I have. I guess I could go in. I could probably key these up pretty quickly. So here are my default Fanatics fees. If you want to consign with me, like you have a graded PSA, BGS, CGC, they don't take tag. graded cards, send to my vault. They're at the address below. Don't send to my PO box in Verona. Send it to Tigard, Oregon, and Tigard, Oregon. I get in trouble every time I say Oregon, Oregon. I forget how to say Tigard. I think it's Tigard, Oregon. But yeah, so there is that. Let me show you quickly. Somewhere I have the CGC Fanatics. Maybe I don't have it queued up. No, I don't think I have it queued up. I could go into my Canva and download it. But I recently, fees used to be $7.50 a card. Now the fees are $8.50 a card. But they're still, if you know CGC directly, they're a lot cheaper than grading with CGC directly, and they are they're quicker too. For now, again, competitive service. If tomorrow I get 10,000 people, 10,000 cards sent by people in one day, like, it is going to slow down the service for everyone. So that's why I've been a little bit cautious, pumping the brakes on pushing it too widely. But at this point, like, I have quite a few people sending pretty regularly, but I don't have anyone. Some people went hard out of the gate. I went pretty hard out of the gate. I sent a lot of stuff. I figured out where the limits were, what the bounds were on certain plays, and I think some consigners have, like, phased themselves mostly out because they sent too much of something at one time, and so I think it's at a place where I can let more people in, and the service won't be greatly deprecated because of it. So yeah, let me I'm gonna get them on screen really quick just in case anyone is interested in that. 2 sheets I have to download. I guess you'll just have to, like, pause. But again, if you want to DM me, you can get the same information if you want to just DM me instead of pausing on the screen. But yeah, here is the CGC auction fees. So one thing you'll note, if you noticed my fees otherwise, 0 to 120 was 85% minus $5. This one is same as Fanatics Public. Same as Fanatics Public rates up to 120. There's a $3 minimum. If the hammer price is sub 15, that means the buyer's premium is sub 3. They will top that off to 3. I will pass that same minimum fee through to you. But sub 120 is actually cheaper to send me the raw card, pay $8.50 to have it graded, and then you get the same not punitive fee sub 120. You get the same Fanatics Direct fee sub 120, and then above 120 you're getting where on normal consignment I have a punitive fee sub 120 because I don't want to get buried under those cheaper things. But there's no punitive fee above 120, so it's kind of like best of both worlds. It's the better fees under 120, and then it's the same good fees above 120. And then one more, like, just wordy slide on how the process works. You can't just send raw cards there without reaching out to me. You have to message me the number of cards and the tracking number. I will message you back a submission number that you will enclose in the shipment. You will send it out to my vault. They will be graded. They will be auctioned. It's not a middleman grading service. You don't send in cards. Oh, hey, send me back that pristine. Send me back that card. Every card goes to auction. It has to go to auction within 2 weeks. If you send me 100 of one card, you have to do 50 week 1 and 50 week 2. So there's a little bit of a plug, a little bit of a thing. But one thing, multiple things that I'm kind of bad at. One, I don't love doing it, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more self-promo-y at the beginning of videos. Like, sub, I am going to set a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. I will be same Dan. I will just be a little bit more selling out, I guess. I will be a little bit more pumping my own services, pumping the like button, the sub button. I do want to get to 10K. I think 10K is very smart. I think it's very achievable by the end of the year. But not without playing the YouTube game a little bit. I've done it anecdotally. I've made 3 months worth of videos without ever saying like, subscribe. My baseline is gaining 60 to 80 subs a month if I'm not saying anything. If I say something one time in one video on a Monday, 5 minutes into a video, like, sub if you enjoy the video, I will get 40 in one day. I'll get 200 in a month instead of 80 in a month. So it's like something I actually need to do a little bit more consciously. Don't love it, but, like, it's just something that has to do. Selling yourself and selling out are two different things. But yeah, another thing that I haven't really done either, like with these graphics, you've probably seen them if you follow me on Instagram. I post them there every so often, once a week usually. Not the CGC Fanatics, but the other one. I'm gonna do more ads. I don't want to spoil the whole video that's coming up in early February, but I'm starting to do like my numbers for taxes. I'm starting to do some preliminary numbers for taxes, and I guess I'll give you one singular number, which is kind of like the number, the big number. $7.5+ million passed through my bank accounts. So my entire gross handle will be a little bit more than that. I don't do a whole lot of cash, but I did do some cash deals. I do report cash deals as well. So like the gross number that goes to the IRS will be larger than that. There's certain money too that goes into PayPal and then comes out of PayPal, that goes into eBay, comes out of eBay. So like there's certain money paying for shipping labels, paying for certain things that like all my Fanatics, all my Fanatics, CGC Fanatics grading fees, all of those for many tens of thousands of cards, those don't come into my bank account. So it's like, let me actually pull up my CGC Fanatics sheet. I can't pull it up for you guys because it has a bunch of consignor data. But the number of cards that were graded is approximately 30,000. 30,000 CGC Fanatics cards. And I know that's not perfectly accurate because some of the sheets are still broken. Still a work in progress. Most of them are done. But about 30,000 cards at $750 is the fee that I charge. I pay a little bit less than that myself, but hundreds of thousands of dollars there that is paid for out of my Fanatics vault. So that will be on my 1099. There will be a bigger number, that hundreds of thousands of dollars that hit my Fanatics account but never hit my bank account. So the 7.5 million number is me just looking at, I exported all of my Chase, all of my business Chase account, and all the money in and out of my Chase business account. The numbers are slightly different because it started ending balance slightly different. I'm not cash basis, so I don't go solely off that. I am accrual basis. But the bank account did end higher. So the ins were higher than the outs, but the outs, I think it was the ins. I forget if it was the ins or the outs, but they were within a few $100,000 anyways. The ins or the outs was like $7.6 million. So I'm going to make a video in early February that I already teased in my video Monday. If you watch the whole 51-minute video, I know the Green Shiz loved it. Shout out to Seal Shiz Consignments. But I'm going to break down exactly what that $7.5 million was. I'm going to show you how much was Fanatics Collect, how much was eBay, how much was Fanatics Live, eBay Live. I'm going to show you how much was PayPal, how much were private deals with wires and things like that. It'll be a fun video. And I'll talk about, I did a video like this 3 years ago probably, where I talked about the different aspects of my business and the different like segments of it, and the scalability of each, the pros and the cons to each. And yeah, I'll give you kind of an updated, refreshed look at that for 2025. So yeah, I very, very, very excited for that video. I think that'll be a fun one. If you had told me, and I did the video, every year I do the video at the start of the year, like what I did last year, what I hope I'll do this coming year. My SMART goal for 2025 that I set in January of 2025 was $4 million gross after having done $3 million gross, like 30+% growth. And by no means am I taking ownership entirely of that. That is a sum of all components of Catch 'em All Collectibles, which include heavy usage of other services, such as consigning services like DC Sports 87, consigning services like Seal Shiz Consignments. I utilized Heritage this year. I utilized a lot of different consigning services. I utilized my independent contractors, obviously. I have PK and Ponga, primarily on Fanatics. I have Spat, Bierski, Grimer, primarily on eBay. I have Skya, primarily eBay Core, and then like standard eBay, and then TCG Player. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but there's a lot of parts to it, and I'm excited to break that all down, as I always do. What a wild start to this one. We were all rocking out to 90s country together. You love to see it, as long as Joe Duffy doesn't come after me. Appreciate you, Joey, for subscribing. We do have the nice alert set up there. Shout out to Hive Mind for creating those for me. But yeah, let me. Snipe was $0. Probstein was more dollars than I would have liked. Probstein will be $0 in 2026. I did sever my ties with Probstein in 2025. So yeah, that will not be taking place in 2026 at all. But yeah, let me start going to the questions. I feel like before the whole music thing, before I don't know how that was getting through to you guys. Maybe I do. I do know how. Wait, no, I don't. I don't know how. What is B1? I kind of want to listen to music, but I'm afraid to test it again. Let's test it again and see what happens. Tell me if you guys are hearing music again. It looks like you shouldn't be. I just paused it. Let me. I'm gonna listen to my playback and see if it came up for a second. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay, no music. Ears are bleeding. I'm rocking out now to my. Wait, you might be hearing it. Maybe not. I can't tell. I Yeah, I think we're good. Sorry for that. Play the 90s country. I don't want to get copyright striked. So much revenue, so much of that $7.5 million came from YouTube. So I can't stand to lose that. But anyways, if you have questions, as always, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to stay live until I answer every question in chat. I have we hear it, turn it up. I have the Patreon. I have the paywall. Again, trying to shout things out a little bit more in 2026. I have these channels that I don't really utilize to their fullest extent for my business, and I need to leverage those better. So I have the Patreon, $10 a month. We do a monthly Zoom every Sunday. We dive deep. Jake and I, we talk about something in the hobby, and we dive real deep. And that's a way to get deeper access. It's a product. You don't have to buy it. It's there if you want it. It's there if you don't want it, but like you don't have to interact with it. I do consults as well. I'm not crazy about the consults. I don't know if I'll stop doing them at some point or just charge more so I do less. But as of right now, I do consults. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in that. $100 for an hour. I've had really good consults. I've had some that weren't as useful. I think just like the live streams, they're a choose your own adventure. If you come with good questions, I think I'm capable of giving good answers. But I think sometimes people have unreasonable expectations, and I've definitely had a couple of weird interactions with that. And that, along with as crazy as it sounds, $100 an hour, like, oh, Dan, how do you sleep at night charging that much money? We're booming. There are other things I do in my day-to-day that pay me more than that, and I promise. So it's like it's not the least profitable thing that I do in a given day, but it's not the most profitable thing that I do in a given day either. And then there's some amount of negativity around the whole thing. But anyways, it's interesting to me when, and it's not that common, but sometimes people will complain about paywalls. We're not in that season right now. The 5 years I've been on YouTube, going on 5 years, end of March. The 5 years I've been on YouTube, there's been like seasons where it's scalpers this and it's MSRP that, and sometimes it's like paywalls. These guys out here are charging for things that should be free. We're not really in that season right now, but sometimes negativity pops up from it. But anyways, I think it's ironic to be like mad at me about having paid access when like I'm accessible every week on YouTube for free. Shout out my PokeFlips podcast with co-host Old School Pokemon. Nick and I, every other week on YouTube, we answer every question asked to us. And then every other week in between that, I have my own solo live streams, like I have tonight. I answer every question asked to me on YouTube. So like, ask me anything you want, and I will answer. I don't have the objective, honest, like 100% truth, guaranteed to make you money answer, but I have like a 12 years in the hobby, former engineer brain, decade in the engineering field. I think I have some qualifications to give like pretty reasonable answers. So there's a little more self-promotion thrown in. But yeah, ask your questions in chat. If you can do question marks, if you can do a big stop sign emoji, whatever, to make it more visible to me, that will make it easier. But yeah, let me. I see Timmy McGee says, chat would be interested in hearing your awkward interactions on the consultations. I know, shout out to Retro. I'm a little bit nervous. Retro said he's coming back. He's going to be coming back with regular content in the new year. He has not acted on that. He has not acted on that. Shout out to the Off-Centered podcast as well. Not only will I self-promote, I will promote friends in the hobby in the space too. Shout out to the Off-Centered pod. They are a weekly podcast. They missed an upload last week. I don't remember them saying that they were going to miss an upload due to the holidays, but reasonable. It's very reasonable to miss an upload due to the holidays, but it's a slippery slope. You miss one upload, it's very easy to miss the next one and the next one. When I saw that it had been over a week since their weekly podcast uploaded the video, I left a comment, and they said, whoa, calm down, buddy, it's coming. And I messaged John, Radar, and he said, hey, we just recorded yesterday. It's coming this Friday. So tune in Friday to the Off-Centered pod. But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. Somehow earlier, we were actually talking in the paywall in Discord, and Caleb Hammer came up. So I'm at the bottom of chat talking to Timmy McGee, saying chat would be interested in hearing your awkward interactions on the consultations. I'm tying in multiple things at once. So Shadowless Red also said, curious if Dan watched the newest Caleb Hammer. Absolutely wild Pokemon degen behavior. Yes, and shout out to PokeNE. PokeNE was brought up by name. PokeNotify was brought up. A lot of different things in the Pokemon space were brought up. Sadly, Pokenomics was not brought up. Catch 'em All Collectibles was not brought up. But I did watch that, and a lot of things swirling here at once. I'm gonna tie it all together with a bow on it, I promise. But Retro. So the Off-Centered pod was slacking a little bit. They skipped a week. They're coming back Friday though, so tune in. Retro, late last year, started up some content, and he said, like, hey, one of the things that he's gonna do, shout out to his guy that he shouts out a bunch, and I found out because of him, Tech in Sports, used to be with Daily Refinement, but now he's doing his own thing. He does like reseller rescue, I think he calls it. He goes in and he audits a reseller business and says, fix this, almost like Hell's Kitchen, I think, the TV show, a show that I'm familiar with, but I've never really watched. Maybe I've watched one episode. But Retro did one with Danazard. Retro did like a, hey, let's do a live on-air consultation audit of your business, a la Caleb Hammer almost, but instead of personal finances, it's like business setup and stuff. So Retro did that once. He said it's going to become more regular. So hopefully it will. Retro said some other content was going to be coming. I'm going to have to ping him too after I pinged John. I'm going to have to message Retro and say, like, where's the content? Go on to Retro's last video and say, like, where's the regular content you talked about? I think one of my biggest strengths is being consistent, being regular. A couple years ago, or a year, I forget when it was exactly, I went to the hospital and I had my appendix out. And like that week, one day out of the hospital, I went live because it was my week to go live. I didn't miss a Monday upload. Obviously, certain things could happen, but like it's been years. It's been years. I have kids, family, all that stuff. I have a $7.5 million gross handle business, all that stuff. And for years, I've not missed a Monday 1 p.m. upload. I've been bad with shorts. I've missed a week or two here or there. Forgot to schedule my Opus. But anyways, a lot of things tied together there. One final thing. In Discord earlier, we were talking about Caleb Hammer, and I watched them a few years ago, and I thought it was, like, reasonable. I thought it was interesting. I think there's better audit content out there from what he did years ago. These days, to me, it's too reality TV-ized. It's too, like, dramatized. It doesn't feel real. It just feels like they're poorly acting. Maybe that's just me. Clearly, his content is very viral. He has tons of subscribers. Clearly, it's, like, very mainstream, very highly viral, popular content. But I don't enjoy it. I did listen to the whole thing earlier today because it talked about Pokemon so much. But it's just not for me. And some people in Discord were saying, like, Dan, you should do Pokemon business audits. Well, one thing is, like, I don't want to step on Retro's toes. He's going to be coming regularly with business audits in the Pokemon space. So that's his thing. But, like, I said this in Discord, too. I think if you know me, you've heard the number one mistake Pokemon investors make, the top 3 mistakes Pokemon businesses make. If you've been following, like, you should know them all by now. I honestly think, and it's very, like, I'm very on the fence. This is one thing we talked about too. I'm very on the fence about many things because I don't know your situation. The nice thing about a consult you tell me your situation, and I don't tell you what to do. I don't guarantee you're gonna 10x your net worth, your gross sales or anything. I just tell you, if I was in your shoes, now knowing your specifics, this is what I would do. In a live stream, theoretically, you could. Somebody could give me 10 messages in a row saying, "Hey Dan, these are my abilities, my experiences. These are my outlets. These are my platforms. These are my like." Someone could theoretically in a YouTube live chat try to just dump out all the information that someone gives me in a hour-long Zoom call, Discord call for a consult. We could try to have it out, but like the privacy of a one-on-one consult versus the public nature, it just doesn't work well in YouTube. And then with the Patreon too, if you pay the $10 a month, once a week, myself, once a week, Jake himself, we each have a 1-hour Discord call. Sometimes that's one-on-one. Sometimes it's not that busy. There's not that many people in there. Sometimes it's 1-on-20. Sometimes there's 20 people in my office hours. But every week I'm available. Right now I'm doing Thursdays. So tomorrow morning from 11 a.m. to noon, I'm going to be in Discord doing a Discord voice call with any of the patrons that would care to ask questions in there. So yeah, I'm very accessible at 3 different price tiers. Price tier 1 being free here right now. Price tier 2 being $10 a month. The Patreon, you also get Jake, you also get the monthly Zoom, you get a bunch of stuff, and the whole backlog of content. And then one-on-one, as close as it gets, or 1-on-2. I've had some people do it with their partner, business partner, their spouse, whatever. I've done 1-on-2, I guess, is kind of like the cap for consults. But yeah, a lot of ranting there, rambling. But I like the idea of the Caleb Hammer financial audit. I've actually done one on a very small scale for like different people I know in real life. And I think I just like personal finance. I'm not a CPA, I'm not a CFA, but I'm a finance hobbyist. I enjoy numbers, I enjoy spreadsheets. That lends itself well to money. So I know a fair bit of things. I don't know everything that a very good local to you professional would know, but setting up, optimizing Roth versus IRA, paying your kids into a 529 through your business, different potential credits and deductions that you might be eligible for, like personally or business-wise. There's a lot. I think there's a lot that I know that the average person doesn't know. And I think generally my audience knows most of the Pokemon tips that I share all the time. I think I have more to share in like the personal finance space because this is Pokemon. So like it's not completely in line with it. It's not something that I've been ranting and rambling on forever for 5 years now. So I would almost want to do one more in just regular personal finance. If anyone ever wanted to do that, let me know. Maybe we could figure something out and do something. Anyways, let's see. I'm going to scroll back all the way to the start, and I'm going to answer every question, as I always do. I will try to keep an eye on live chat and answer that if something pertinent comes up. But let's continue on. I'll watch this in the AM on the way to work. Have a good one. Flint Farms, thank you for being here. Hope you have a safe drive in the morning. Have a good night as well. Then I'm only here because there was no episode 9 of Stranger Things, so hey, I guess. I watched like a few episodes of that back when it came out, I think. I didn't enjoy it really at all. My wife asked me recently. We just finished Yellowstone. I really enjoyed Yellowstone. It was a good show. It took us like 2 years to watch Yellowstone, which had like 5 seasons, and it's not like horrifically long. Part of why I'll never touch One Piece. But anyways, she asked me recently, like, are you going to watch that with me again ever? Or like, do you want me to just watch it on my own? And that's when she's going to watch on her own. When I'm watching Pokemon podcasts, she's going to be watching Stranger Things. So this is the point. Is there music in the background? Why do I hear country music? Is that Garth Brooks? Can hear your 90s country. Somehow I clicked a button on my voice meter banana and I pushed that through to... That's funny. I think I had my... I'm not a tech guy. I don't fully understand how voice meter works. Can I show this easily? I'm going to show you guys what voice meter banana looks like. It is crazy. I will justify how I made the mistake that I did. Let me add a new window. voice meter. So this is what voice meter banana looks like. So this bouncing rate here, can you see my cursor? I don't think you can see my cursor. So this bouncing here, this is my 90s country in my ear. When I click, I had accidentally clicked B1. So I think I funneled that music instead of just into here. I think it was also going into my microphone. So somehow I exported the audio out through my microphone. Something weird happened. I clicked the wrong button. But like this one, if I want to listen out I have like a speaker on my desktop that just plays into the room. I click on this one, and this one plays into my earbud. So it's like right now, if I play something in Chrome, it will go into my earbud. Nothing is playing in Chrome, so nothing is playing here. But like bar 1 is B1 is my Yeti, and I accidentally had B1 selected here. So like it was funneling that in. Not a good thing. But we got through it. I was not paying attention closely to chat, and my wife notified me. So good thing she was listening to the start of the night. We can hear your country music. Who's the Timmy tonight? Clearly me. Kinda like it. I live in upstate New York, which is not like, when you think of New York, many people think of New York City. It is much more like the South than New York City. So I grew up on 90s country, Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, Kenny Chesney, like Montgomery Gentry, more 2000s, but all that stuff. 90s and early 2000s country is my my main jam. Most of what I listen to, though, I really only listen to 90s country like in the 5-minute ride to the post office, and then in my ear on 2-hour live streams, because we listen to Kids Bop. We listen to the Kids Bop in the car otherwise. What's the best way to summon Red Light Dan? There are people attempting to most nights, so I see Brad just hopped in. Brad enjoying the 90s country. I'll see if Joe Diffie, I'll see. I don't know how to clip off time at the start of I think if I clip off time at the start of the live stream, I think I'll have to like turn it into a video instead of a live stream. But maybe I'll just leave it. I'll leave it and see if Joe Diffie copyright strikes me. I'm conflicted on what to listen to. Yeah, 2026 is gonna be another great year. Start the stream over. This man really does live in the woods. Yes. Yes, we are booming RAR TCG. We are booming, yes. I think I did know that Joe Diffie had passed away. But yes. Pickup Man. Pickup Man is a great song. I forget what song was on that you guys were listening to, but that was a great song too. Perfect Order looking pretty mid. I'm not a spoiler guy. I see a couple questions coming in regarding Perfect Order. I'm not your spoiler guy. I think I'm subscribed to Zorner Cards. Shout out to Zorner Cards. He made a video. Sorry, Zorner, I won't watch that one. Pokey Brian. I watch a lot of Brian's videos, not all of them, but I'm not going to watch Brian's Perfect Order spoiler video. It's a good kind of video to do if you're looking for a viral type video, get a lot of views. It's just, I don't like engaging with spoilers. I like engaging with the product the first time, with my family, opening up an ETB, opening up a couple booster bundles, whatever it may be. So Tigard like Zygarde. Okay, that helps. Hopefully I'm saying Zygarde right. So you need to have between 50, there's a minimum and a maximum for the CGC Fanatics. Minimum 50 cards, maximum 100 cards. That's just like a logistical thing for the back end of CGC Fanatics. If it's more than 100, they split it into multiple subs, and it's just easier to do that on the front end. And it's $8.50 per card. They are usually graded and listed for auction within 4 weeks. 4 weeks of being sent. 4 to 5 weeks, depending. Let's see. Send some more MetaZoo. Dan, I'm actually going to be sending a lot more MetaZoo soon. I'm going to be starting to send regularly. When I tell people, hey, Instagram, hey, YouTube, I have Torrential Tide CGC cards on Fanatics. It's actually done fine. It's done relatively fine. The time that I forgot to talk about having Torrential Tides hit cards on Fanatics CGC, That was dark. That was super dark. I didn't even look at it, but I was told it was dark, and I saw a couple without trying to look. Ray called me a sellout for doing the self promo. Do you think we'll get Japanese exclusive cards again that are from sets? Probably. I don't know. I'm not a great guy to ask this either. I don't know how frequently are there cards in Japanese sets that don't make it into an English set. Sometimes they'll be pulled out and they'll be put into a promo. Sometimes Japanese set A will go into English set, and like we'll miss one, but then it'll get picked up in the next one. Like I don't really follow all that, but oh, here we go. So again, I didn't watch your video, Brian, but it sounds like that's a thing too. It's like the leak season is always so long. So I wasn't aware of this, but nothing epitomizes the Pokemon market like judging a set based on its outer packaging and 2 leaked cards. I mean, its outer packaging and 2 leaked cards, that's a lot more than when Glory of Team Rocket came out, right? When we heard, again, I'm chronically online, so I accidentally hear this. I saw Zorner's thumbnail. I saw Brian's thumbnail. I was aware that spoilers were out because I'm chronically online and I'm in Discords and I saw my YouTube feed, but I don't go as far as to like intentionally engage with those things. But I remember a couple years ago or a year ago, whenever it was, Glory of Team Rocket, the copyrights being, the trademarks being applied for or whatever, the trademarks, the copyrights, and it's like people just get so fired up and emotional, and like Ascended Heroes hasn't even come out yet. It's 2 weeks until Ascended Heroes release, 2 weeks from yesterday. So or no, it's 2 weeks from, I'm so bad I don't even know release dates. It's 3 weeks from Friday because it's the 30th. It's the 30th. Chronically online, yikes. Helga, you're chronically online too. Come on. You're chronically in my live stream chats, crying about being in my live stream chats. But yes, I am. Like my job is being on a computer, being on my phone, being online 8 hours a day, pretty much. But anyways, it is funny. It is funny. Like before the set that's coming next is even out, we're already on to the next thing, What trademarks are being applied for a year from now? Like I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with the sets that are out. So like I don't even try to touch spoilers. Yeah, and it's funny. It's like everything has to be like I love my spot up here on the fence. I'm like it's fine. Everything is fine. It's okay. It's fine. Like there's better, there's worse. People either need to be it's the best set of all time, which most times we find our way to the best set of all time. The meme is true. Next set, best set. Newest set, best set of all time. But like it either needs to be the best or the worst. Like it needs to be very polarizing. It needs to be very divisive. Very visceral reactions. Very strong reactions in either positive or negative. It just needs to be very dramatic and high amplitude, high magnitude of the emotions in either direction. Let's see. Did you have any fear of embarrassment when you started making videos? Not really. My wife doesn't agree with me. I would say I'm pretty introverted overall. If I have a couple beers, which I tend to do when I'm in a social setting, like if I go to a wedding and they're like most weddings have open bar, I'm gonna get the social lubricant. I'm gonna have the IPA on tap. I'm gonna have a couple beers because then it makes me a lot more outgoing. It makes me a lot more extroverted. But as far as like I work a job home alone. Like I work from home alone most of the day. I thrive that way. I'm happy that way. I don't really miss all the water cooler and lunch table interactions with coworkers and stuff. So I'm pretty introverted, and I wasn't that worried. I know that people can be mean out there, but like if and when people were mean, I would have just continued doing my thing and doing my thing for me. And it's like if people act weird and say mean and weird, like I would be able to like overcome that. I think I'm pretty good at letting things roll off my back. I think I'm pretty good at not caring about what other people say or think, aside from the few people that I care about what they say and think. There are very few people in my life that I actually care that much about what they say or think, especially what they say, because the anonymity of online can be very toxic, and some people can be just very, very terrible. But yeah, so I didn't have many, and one thing that I'll say too is like, press record and put it out there. I think this space kind of like inherently, I think a lot of us are kind of like nerdy, introverted, little bit weird, strange in our own ways. I'm pretty strange in a lot of ways. I'm pretty weird, atypical from abnormal, from the normal brains, the normal just average human being on this planet. I'm definitely an oddball one, but I've cultivated over the past 5 years a pretty solid following, in my opinion. I'm not gonna get a play button anytime ever. But it blows my mind. I went to a very small school. In this live stream right now, I graduated with 89 people in my senior class. I went to a college where my entire freshman through senior undergrad college was like 2,000 or 3,000 people. My video that I posted Monday, two days ago, I posted a video that has 3,000 views. That's one of my better videos. Most of my videos don't get 3,000 views in 2 days. It usually takes like a month later, they might have 2,000 or 3,000 views. But to me, that's great. And one thing that I say sometimes too, and it can be true and it can be not true too. I'm going to be on the fence about this idiom. Is that the right word for it? I'm going to Google now. Am I making an idiot of myself saying idiom? Is an idiom the right thing? Yes. No, I don't think it is an idiom. A phrase or expression whose meaning isn't obvious from the literal words. But comparison is the thief of joy. It's not an idiom. There's another word for it. But comparison is the thief of joy. If you make it be the thief of your joy. I could look at, like, Brian right now is in chat. Pokiani is in chat. What's he got? 40, 50,000 subscribers? I don't even know. Pokiani YouTube. He's famous too. He was on Caleb Hammer today. He got shouted out on Caleb Hammer. 64,000 subscribers. I can't even keep up. So like, I could look at Brian on YouTube and I could say like, man, he's got so much more, like Keeping Up with the Joneses. There's another saying too, not an idiom, but a saying. Only look into your neighbor's bowl. What is it? Something about looking into your neighbor's bowl to ensure that they have enough. Don't do it in a negative way. Oh, he has more than me. Like, comparison can be the thief of joy if you allow it, but it also can be like motivating. It also can be like, you can look at a guy like Rusty, one of the OGs, one of the GOATs. There's this whole Hall of Fame, TCG Hall of Fame induction ceremony going on next month. I'm never gonna make the TCG Hall of Fame. Some people can look at that and that's so dumb, and that's so. I've seen some people with like weird negative takes towards that. Like, some maybe out of jealousy, maybe out of, I'm not jealous of anyone going into it. I know that it's like, maybe I won't agree with everybody, the hierarchy of who goes in and when and why and how and whatever, but it's like, those things can exist, and you can just not engage with it if it doesn't bring you any positivity. But if you do it the right way, you can compare, and actually comparison can be like the fuel to your engine to fuel your growth. Like Brian's channel, Brian's journey, Rusty's journey, Garrett, like any of these journeys can be used to inspire, can be used to motivate, to drive. So a lot of it is just perspective. It's perspective. Dan's YouTube lives in his own therapy sessions. Yes. I like, so there's two things. There's two things that can be true. One, like, I'm not jealous of the sub count whatsoever, but like, I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, Dan, would you rather have 8,000 subscribers or would you rather have 64,000? Like, I've made content. One fact exists that I've made content for going on 5 years soon now. Would I rather have 64,000 subscribers? Would I rather be generating 10 times the revenue for the same amount of work? Yes, But like, am I sad and down and down on myself over being where I'm at exactly? Not whatsoever. I feel like the number could be higher. I feel like the number could be higher if I did certain things. But I'm doing it the way that I want to do it. I'm doing the way that's sustainable for me. I'm doing it for the way that brings me the most, not just financially, not just number wise, but yeah, it's a multi-variable equation that I'm optimizing for. And subscriber count is one variable, and ad revenue, all that stuff is another variable. But yeah, let's see. Scrolling back though to find my next question. I'm gonna try to do better about bouncing back and forth. Give this live a thumbs up, you hyenas. 15 people in here, 64 watching. Thumb up, noobs. 220,000 PSA 10 burger chews is indeed insane. I have some in bulk. I have some in bulk that are not yet back. Should we start calling you Gandalf, Dan? Gandalf is Lord of the Rings, right? I've not watched the Star Wars movies. I've not watched the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm familiar with some of the lore, some of the universes that they exist in. But I'm a Pokemon guy. Harry Potter, Harry, like after Pokemon, the world, the universe, the space that I've engaged in most in, like, they're in different areas, but I think people would understand, like Pokemon and Harry Potter are like their own fictional universes, right? I think outside of Kanto, well maybe RuneScape if you count video games, but I think outside of Pokemon, it would be Harry Potter and it would be Gielinor, it would be RuneScape. It would be like the universes that I'm most entrenched in and knowledgeable of. I know a little bit, like I said. Ray says not knowing Lord of the Rings is wild. I want to use your CGC services, but I don't know why I can't. You see, Stan, how it works, even though I've got the info 5 times. Just oh. So you're saying you can't understand how it works? Basically, you send me raw cards. You send a quantity of raw cards with a tracking number to me. So take your 50 raw cards. This is not 50, but take your 50 raw cards. They don't even need card savers. Ideally, put them in penny sleeves. 50 penny sleeved cards. This has an address on it. Oh, it's just my P.O. box. So if accidentally I show that, it's not a big deal. Get your 50 cards sleeved, put them in a box, weigh it, go to Pirate Ship, make a label. So get me the quantity of cards and the tracking number from the label, and email me and say, hey, Dan, CGC Fanatics, I have 50 cards with tracking XYZ, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. And then I will reply to you and I will say, hey, poking fun. Here's your submission number. Take a sticky note. I don't have sticky notes near me, but I do have nice branded notepad. So the sub number is sub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a 6 or 7 digit number. So I'll give you a sub number. Enclose that in your package. So don't write CGC grading. Don't write anything. Don't write auction. Put this with your cards in a box. Ship it to my vault in Tigard, Oregon. And a month later, you'll get grades populated into a sheet. You have to share with me your Google email address. I'll share you a consigner sheet to track it. I'll make a video on the whole process, but that's like the very short version of it. You need to get the submission number. You need to have between 50 and 100 cards to do it. And I don't know what part's confusing. I know that my graphics are a little bit wordy, but I think it's fairly straightforward. I've obviously done it a lot of times. So like, but it's fairly wordy. I'm not good at creating graphics to like be, I've never been accused of being very succinct, very, very good with words. So yeah. Our Playback Collectible says, let's say allegedly, James, I'm assuming ZNG Emporium here, wired me $1 million into my savings account out of the goodness of his heart and definitely not for any sort of exchange of service. I don't have to theoretically report that, right? Yes, you definitely have to report. If you can sign with me, so 2 things here. If you can sign with me, short answer, I'd hate the long way. So if you can sign with me, you will not get a 1099. Legally, you're actually the one, if you can sign with me or if you can sign with James or whoever, you're paying us to provide a service to you. So if any 1099 happened, it would be you 1099ing us. We're businesses. So like we get the 1099 from Fanatics, from eBay, from wherever. It's like you don't have to 1099 us, but if anything, that's the way that it would go. But no, I figured it. I figured and I hoped it was joke. But I've had people ask. So I see you saying that this is a joke. I've had people actually ask me, and I'm gonna tell you something too that might blow your mind. But I promise you, I promise, I guarantee this. There are people that have received 6 figures and not reported it anywhere. So like the government won't know unless they audit you. I'm not advocating for you to not tell them because like they very easily could find out. And if you mess up on your taxes and you underpay, you're not going to go to jail over it. If you truly make a mistake and it gets found out, you will owe penalties and interest and yada yada. But as long as you won't go to jail. If you intentionally defraud the government and evade your taxes and consign with me and get 50 grand or 100 grand, or consign with James and get 50 or 100 grand that you don't report and you get audited, you might end up in jail because that is evasion. That is not avoidance. That is not ignorance. That is intentional tax evasion. That is very, very naughty, very, very bad. And I promise you, like it was a meme, but like I've been asked it seriously from my consigners, like, hey, are you going to 1099 me? I say no. And they say, hey, do like a genuine question. And I'm not even trying to like talk down on them. Like a lot of people just genuinely don't know anything about taxes because when and where you taught them, aside from Catch 'em All Collectibles live streams. But people have genuinely asked me, like, hey Dan, you paid me $5 grand this year. Like, what do I do with that? And it's like, consult a professional. I'm not your CPA. I'm not a CPA. But like technically, if you made money on anything, you would have to report all that. But there's another angle too. I consign for some people that don't make money. I consign for some people that spend 100 grand ripping packs on Fanatics and whatnot and wherever. And then at the end, they grade a few hit cards, and so they might have spent 100 grand and they might have sold 50 grand because like the EV of opening packs is low. So I've actually consigned with people that like if they did it properly would have no net taxable income, but you would still have to report. Well, again, I'm not an accountant. If you bought 100 grand worth of stuff, I think there's exemptions. Given the dollar amount, you'd probably have to report that. But like, I think there's carve outs in the tax code. So if you buy a couch today for $1 grand, and then in 5 years you sell it in a yard sale for $5, you don't have to report that $5 because you're actually selling it for a loss. You made no money there. It was like selling goods that you're losing money on. But if you make money, if it's a certain amount of money, there's different thresholds for all of it. So like, I don't even fully know the exact answers for all of it. But yeah, state matters, county matters, like country matters. Not everyone here is in the US. There's so many layers that like consult a professional local to you for the proper answers. But you asked that question jokingly. I promise there are people taking in 6 figures potentially from me. I don't ask. I don't know. It's not my business. But I have over 100 consigners. Have 100% of them reported everything and paid all the proper taxes? Probably not. Like that's just where we're at. Go to a Collecticon. Go to a show. Is everybody hitting sales tax nexus and tracking their sales tax nexus and collecting and remitting the sales taxes for the states in which they have nexus? Not many, if any. PayPal transactions and Shopify's and Wix's, and I know Brian has some good videos on sales tax nexus and using Avalara, I believe it's called, for dealing with all that. That's why I sell through Fanatics. That's why I sell through eBay. That's why I sell through platforms that handle all that stuff because I don't want to deal with that headache. But continuing on. Yes. So that is one additional part of why I've not done a video yet. I have some amount of risk. So if you consign really bad things with me, I front the grading fee. So if you consign 50 cards, say, let's do 100 because the math is easier. If you consign 100 cards with me, you get your sub number, you put it in your box, all that good stuff, and then a month later the grades hit, and it's all 4s and 5s and 6s. Those things probably aren't going to get a bid. There's $100 cards times $850 a card. There's $850 worth of grading fees that have to be accounted for. So part of it is like a trust thing. I need to trust that who is submitting cards is going to be knowledgeable enough that they're going to actually make money and that they're not going to leave me with a bill. So far, I have over 100 CGC Fanatics consigners, and I've graded well over 30,000 cards, probably closer to 50,000 cards with it. This actually doesn't track my quantity either. I'm the single biggest utilizer of that. So it's probably 50,000 cards in 2025, CGC Fanatics. I've given out 0 bills. Couple people have been, most people have lost money on individual cards. So if you grade a card and it sells for 5 with buyer's premium at 6, you get negative something dollars. You get dollars charged to your account. Hopefully you have good cards that offset that. I've never had somebody lose money on an entire submission, but individual cards, like, all the time. I lose money on individual cards all the time. I send some degen stuff. I send some pristine or bust stuff, like, relatively regularly. Hey, Dan, what do you think happens first? Pokemon brings back first edition cards or serialized? I think they will never bring back first edition. I think it is inevitable that they will bring back, that they will bring in serialized cards. So I think serialized cards will come first, but I think it's several years away at earliest. And I'm very confident, like, not 100%, but I am 99% confident first edition never. And I'm 99% confident that in the next 25 years, in the next 30 years, we'll say, we're almost halfway there. In the next 30 years, I am 99.9% confident. 99% confident there will be serialized cards, in my opinion. Maybe not in a regular set box. Maybe there will be collector boxes, something a la Magic or whatever. But how much for a dinner date, Dan? Are there service tiers to that? I mean, go to a Collecticon, go to a convention. I might buy you dinner. So I usually do shout out all the events that I'm going to. But yeah, if you're vending, maybe I'll bring a bag of Popeye's chicken sandwiches, throw it into the section. Maybe I'll have a dozen donuts to bring. So sometimes those are free. No need to be subscribed. No need to be a patron. No need to be a one-on-one consult user. How much perfect do you want to pre-order? I mean, if I could pre-order, so I have no current distributors that allow me to pre-order. I've been allocated for a long time now. They just tell me what I'm getting. If I could pre-order, I would pre-order a lot, but that's not the way that I work with it. James is in here. Kai did not lose money. Did Kai even do it? I forget if Kai did it. I don't think Kai even did it. Oh no, maybe he did. And he got a payout. So if Kai made money, the service must be reasonable, right? And I'm saying made money. I don't know what he paid for the cards. So when I say every consignor has made money, I mean yielded a payout. They might have yielded a payout of $100 on $1,000 worth of cards. Like, I don't know, frankly. Maybe too frank, too open, too honest, transparent. I frankly don't care what the cost of people's cards are. I want people to make money. But like, I don't track that. I don't know that. I don't need to know that. I want people to make money because I want people to utilize the service, because then I'll make money on them utilizing the service. And naturally, the way that I do it. And shout out to Z. Shout out to ZNG Emporium. He has a great consignment service. I used to have an eBay consignment service. I couldn't compete with his rates on eBay, so I stopped doing it. It's like, why are people going to consign with me when they could just consign with James or DC Sports 87? So I stepped out because I couldn't compete. I have the CGC Fanatics because I have the best rates out there for it. I have the Fanatics regular auctions as well because I think certain people beat me in slim ranges, but overall I think I have like one of, if not the best general consignment rates for Fanatics. So if I can't offer a service that is a win, meaning I win, I make money, win, you make more money, you save more money than doing it yourself direct. Like, I'm just not going to offer it. I only have interest in bringing something that's like a win-win to the table. So yeah, I had a certain service that I offered before that I stopped offering because I just couldn't compete. But always evolving, always changing, ebbing and flowing with the market. You guys are missing some awesome Garth Brooks right now, man. I think years ago Garth Brooks wasn't on a lot of the streaming stations, but lately he's been there in full force. Love some good 90s Garth. Why is the sky blue? That is the way that the rods and the cones in our eyes perceive the wavelengths of light that are bouncing off of it. Pokemon Go to the moon, enough said. I have a lot available for sale in my wholesale. Has he already answered the airspeed velocity of a swallow one? Yeah. When was the last time you went fishing, and what did you fish for? The last time I went fishing, we do an annual trip, my family, my two kids, my wife, and then my parents. We go up to Old Forge every year. We go to water safari, and we usually stay a night there. And I forget if it's like, I forget which lake that is, but like the Forge Motel is right on that lake. We rented paddle boards, and we rented pedal boats, and my parents got a canoe, and we got a paddle boat, whatever they're called, the ones with like the foot pedals, and our kids sat in the back. And we caught some perch, we caught some sunfish. I've gone on a couple fishing trips since then, fishing from the shore on Oneida Lake with the Cub Scouts. We've caught nothing. I've caught nothing so far with the Cub Scouts, but we did catch some fish on the pedal boats in Old Forge. So yeah, that was the last time we went. I did not talk about Harry Potter and Upper Deck, but that is intriguing. Are there new Harry Potter cards coming out? I'm gonna Google that quickly. There is I talked about you a little bit earlier, John. I talked about how I was a little nervous that you were already quitting on the Off Center Pod. But the Off Center Pod is coming this Friday. Harry Potter Upper Deck. Upper Deck announces coveted Harry Potter license upcoming product collection. Interesting. Just came out today. So yeah, that is hot fresh news. Let me see if I can show this without showing the wrong things. Yeah. So, Upper Deck announces coveted Harry Potter license upcoming product collection. That's cool. I'll be interested to see if my distros have it. If I can't interact with it at distro pricing, to be honest, maybe I'll engage with it a little bit. My wife's actually a big Harry Potter fan. I don't know if she's still listening, but maybe I'd buy her a box or two. Maybe I'd engage with it a little bit as a consumer. But if I can't get it wholesale, I probably won't engage with it as a business. But we'll see. We'll see. Harry Potter is a very, very cool universe. Very, very cool. Like not a huge. Maybe you can tell by the way that I speak. I'm not a big book reader. I've showed my library of personal finance books that I haven't read yet off before multiple times on live streams. Growing up, I read Goosebumps books. That was like one series, R.L. Stein, a lot of Goosebumps books, and then the Harry Potter series. I read. I don't know if I read, because there was the 7. The final one was split into 2, so it was 8 books. And then wasn't there like a 9th book? I just had the name right at the tip of my tongue, and then I forgot about it. Oh, The Cursed Child. Oh, maybe it wasn't a book. Maybe that was only... It's a 2-part stage play. So yeah, I've never read that, but it's not Oh, okay, it's written by someone else. I was familiar with the fact that the Cursed Child existed, but I've never engaged with it, I don't think. But anyways, I big fan of Harry Potter for sure. Scrolling back up so I don't miss any questions. I have a good backlog going, so I will try to speed up a little bit. I always cry on the inside when people miss an upload. I have needs. Yes. Bring us all the content. Brad says, I'm not a book reader. Yeah, we can tell. I fronted with that. I said it's probably obvious by the state of my speaking. Dan, what would be your go-to methods of obtaining cards at a low enough price to build a business if you were starting over now without your brand, social media to get cheaper cards? Shows are becoming so ubiquitous. One thing that I've made videos about it before. You can make money buying on eBay, buying on TCG Player. Please, if you're buying with intent to resell, if you're buying to make money, please do it as a business. Please don't be paying sales tax on items intended for resale. But like, big shout to LGSs. Go support your local LGS. Go support your local shows. Going to a convention, sure, maybe the cards will be priced a little bit higher. But when you can have that Swablu in your hands, when you can have that card in your hands, say TCG Player is X. Say they're priced at 10% over TCG Player. If you have it in your hands and you can inspect it and you can look at it and you like that is a 10. Like, pay up, pay a little bit of a premium. It's fine to pay 100, 110% of market if you know how to pre-grade and if you have the ability to pre-grade in hand. So like, I would utilize shows potentially. I would utilize Facebook groups, Reddit groups. I would try to utilize the types of areas that like someone like me doesn't really muck through. I used to back in the day. But yeah, look at eBay, look at LGS, look at local shows, look at Facebook, Reddit, look at local Facebook groups, things that you have advantages on. I have advantages having built a name, having built a brand. I lean on my advantages. You should lean on yours. If you live in some random city 3,000 miles away from me, there are certain people in that city that will never sell to me. They'll never sell to PokeRev. There are certain people, a large portion of people, will only deal locally. So like, you inherently have an advantage local to you that certain people, no matter how big they are, no matter how much money they have, they'll never touch that collection, that card. So yeah, think about your advantages and play on those. Time and money, two different things. One advantage I have less of these days is time. One advantage I have more of these days is liquidity, capital. So and the following too. I can cast a wide net. I can do my hot buy list and cast a wide net. Here's today's hot buy list if you want to sell anything. But again, there are people that I won't reach that you might be able to, boots on the ground, reach local to you. Appreciate you, Power Playback Collectibles. I'll help your promotion, Dan. I did one of the hour-long consults and he was super helpful and a super nice guy, just like he is on the channel. Highly recommend. I appreciate that very much. What do you think MZ is doing right, and what do you think they should do better? Box prices are not doing great. Worried more stores will give up. Yeah, so I think MetaZoo is doing like the artwork really well. I sadly don't. Oh, I do have some next to me. I think MetaZoo is doing the artwork really well. I still haven't engaged with the game. I need to engage with the game, but I think the chase, I think the rarity tiers, I like that they added legend rares. I know some people don't like it, but I really like the case chase of the booster boxes. So I think the product is good. I think pushing it out there, getting it in front of eyes is where they're failing. And I'm not the guy to do that. It's weird because I co-own MetaZoo. I don't have any involvement in producing the TCG, so I can't take any. I actually can't take any of the credit where MetaZoo is excelling, and I can take some of the blame where MetaZoo is failing. I should be one of the organic influencers to post more about it, but I feel a little bit weird about it. I still am doing it. I have a video that I owe. I need to make the 10,000 pack opening of Secret Shadows, which Skya has done. I need to get the data from him compiled and put together and presented. But I think the biggest thing they're missing is putting it out in front of people. And very tiny part of that is me. I don't think they were counting on me from the beginning. But yeah, I don't know the proper way to do that. I don't know where, and this is something that I started saying earlier about my own business, but I've never really had ad spend. I've never really had substantial ad spend. This year, I'm giving myself some amount of a travel spend, some amount of ad spend to try to grow, grow the most profitable parts of the business, to try to grow the sourcing parts of the business. So yeah, I think that's where they're missing, and hopefully they'll work on it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Innovate says you have to create content that creates interest into MetaZoo. I'm not interesting. I'm not influencing. So like, it's not gonna be me. It can't be me. I will make the data videos. I will make the EV of a box. I will make breaking down 10,000 packs. I'll make like things like that. But I can't be. I will not be the guy to bring new people in. I don't have that. And MetaZoo needs that. So yeah. Continuing on. Yes, I've had an increasing amount of people actually doing it with One Piece. I've had people do it with Magic. I've had people do it with Yu-Gi-Oh! So it is anything that CGC grades. A couple stipulations too. It has to be regular card size. It can actually be sports too. I have some people that do a small amount of sports. I know nothing of the values of One Piece or sports or Yu-Gi-Oh! But the biggest indicator to me that like something is working is that people send more cards in. So I have One Piece submitters that have submitted more One Piece. When I first saw One Piece submitted, I was like, I don't know. Does Fanatics work for that? I genuinely don't even know. And then I saw the sales happen. I paid the consigner. And then after they got paid for the first submission, they sent more. So it's like, okay, that must have been at least fine. I truly don't know the values whatsoever. I mean, hell, there's a lot of Pokemon that I don't even know what the people have paid and how well they're doing. So yeah. Basic says, is the conflict internal or external? I'm assuming that's with reference to MetaZoo. I don't know that I characterize the conflict necessarily. I genuinely don't know what's being done to advertise MetaZoo. Again, I have no day-to-day involvement in that. I do co-own MetaZoo, the company that bought the IP of MetaZoo, and we license it to GQL, but I have no like knowledge of the inner workings of the day-to-day. So like I wouldn't even know how to answer that question if I understood what was being asked, but I don't entirely understand what's being asked either. Let's see. Dan, I appreciate you being nice because we all know your most awkward consultation interactions have been with the Timmy himself. I've had some great consultations with Timmy McGee. I do use Opus Clip for shorts. Yes. I've never used any other product for shorts, so it is good, I will say, but I have no benchmark to compare it to, having only used that. Caleb is the Jerry Springer of finance content, but had to click when I saw the Pokemon card thumbnail. I think that's a good way to characterize it. Years ago, I watched a couple and I kind of enjoyed it. Like I thought the content was kind of interesting, but it's gotten a lot more reality TV. It's gotten a lot more like it's just not for me. Oh, the boring channel asked again, but yeah, I answered that one just very late. I'm quite a ways behind. Doing my best. With your engineering mind, can you give us a step-by-step how you would quickly liquefy your inventory if Pokemon started going to zero? If Pokemon quickly started going, if how would I quickly liquefy if Pokemon started going to zero? So I have a 7-figure Pokemon inventory as it stands. How I would liquefy is weird. I've heard people use liquefy when I think they mean liquidate. So how would I liquidate? So I'll answer it 2 ways. I'll answer it for me, and then for somebody with no platform. So I have a platform. If I saw something happening, if I had my ear to the ground and I heard something that no one else was hearing, if I wanted to get out, I would maybe I would skip my weekly YouTube live stream that week. Maybe I would skip my Monday upload that week, so that I didn't have to be fully transparent and say what I was doing. But no, I would post on Instagram. I would post on my wholesale packs on my website. I would post an Instagram story, all that stuff. And I would just say like, hey, I'm selling this stuff at whatever percent, would kind of move it. 85, 90%, whatever. But anyways, I I would advertise through my channels, and I would do mostly private sales. I think I would send a bunch to Fanatics. I would send a bunch to PK and Ponga. Live streaming isn't really like a liquidating type thing. I guess I would have a couple mega streams, do some liquidations. But if I had no connections, whatever, I would consign through the things that do best on Fanatics, and some things do. I think I would consign some stuff with Catch 'em All Collectibles on Fanatics because he has the best rates. I would consign some with ZNG Emporium on eBay because I think he doesn't have the absolute best rates. Probably at certain tiers he does, but he has really good rates, and he is TCG specialist. Certain cards I would like, certain especially graded single cards, I would be a little bit more cautious sending to like DC Sports. I don't send to the one anymore that I don't name anymore, but DC Sports does pay out 97% above 5,000. They do pay out 96% above 1,000. So they pay out higher, but they don't have the expertise. Sometimes a better title, expertise in the space could be worth an extra 1 or 2%, or maybe 10 or 20% more. So some amount, basically a package would go to Z, a package would go to me through Fanatics, a package would go to DC Sports. The optimal blend for each, hard to tell. Certain things would go to Seal Chiz Consignments too. Shout out to Seal Chiz. He beats DC Sports under 500, under 1,000 on certain things at certain values. I forget, but I do. Shout out to Green. He had a record year. He made a video recapping his year recently, and I know what percentage of Seal Chiz Consignments I am, because I know what my handle was through him. I know what my payouts were from him, and I also recently ran that report to see what my gross money through Chase was, and I saw what came in from Seal Chiz. So Stranger Things is brain rot. It's just not for me. It was weird. I'm not a big on, like, obviously like, I'm fine with fiction. I'm clearly fine with fiction because I love Harry Potter. I love Pokemon. But like, Star Wars doesn't do it for me. Star Trek doesn't do it for, and to be fair, I haven't given them a fair shot. But like spacey, that kind of, I don't know. Something just doesn't, I don't really care to even try it. The same like alien type, like my favorite kinds of shows and movies are like thrillers, things barring the Harry Potter fiction, the Pokemon fiction, barring those, generally things that could like really happen. I really like Yellowstone. It's like a real life thing, very sensationalized, very action. I used to like 24 when I was younger growing up. That was a show that I enjoyed a lot with Kiefer Sutherland. Jack Bauer was very sensationalized. These days that happened in the universe of 24 were the most like obscene things possible. And I'm not saying that like Black Mirror. Black Mirror is like futuristic, fiction-y, but like could happen someday. Kind of scary how much is happening today already that was talked about in Black Mirror. Zard Lurking says, space doesn't have to be your thing to enjoy Star Wars. You played RuneScape alone in your room for too much and missed out on living. I've never seen or read Lord of the Rings. No, I've never seen Star Wars either. Dan, do you foresee poly markets coming to Pokemon, betting on the price of the pouncing chase card, first PSA 10 sale, etc.? They already have. The Kabuto card was on Polymarket, or I forget what the other one's called, but Polymarket had the Kabuto price. They have the PSA 10 Logan Paul Illustrator price. They have multiple things already. I think they have the Charizard UPC price. So these things are already on Polymarket. And I think Rattle made a video talking about how, like, if you were a high bidder, if you were bidding on the Illustrator, you could like double dip. You could bet on the price going above something, and not that it would be advantageous or profitable to bid yourself up to just make money from Polymarket. If the market size was that big, it theoretically could be. If the betting space on Polymarket was big enough, and there was an arbitrage where like you could bid yourself up on the Illustrator, please don't do that. That's show bidding. Don't bid yourself up to intentionally, even if you intend to pay it, intentionally bidding it up to manipulate Polymarket betting. that would be shill betting too. Please don't do that. But like, if the poly market betting market depth was that big, that like you could bet on it going above 10 million and win more than $10 million doing so, you could just buy it for free. Right? Like, that's so crazy. It's so stupid. It's so insane. I think that something is going to happen regulation wise. Maybe not this year. The government is very slow with things, but I think something is going to happen regulatory wise with poly market and similar. Like sports betting is legal in only in X amount of states, but now it's legal in like every state because you can just buy a future on if the Rangers will win, if the Rangers will score. Like, that's just sports gambling. It's crazy. The insider trading that opens up all the different things. It's crazy. Thoughts on Hoot Hoot from Astral Radiance? The card is not coming directly to my mind. I'm gonna go to pkmncards.com, my favorite website for checking these things out. I'm terrible. I don't know. Okay, here it is. So I guess I'll pull it up for everybody. Let's all give our collective thoughts on Hoot Hoot from Astral Radiance. I like it. I'm terrible as far as like ranking things, picking favorites. Like, it's not my favorite art of all time. Is it the best Hoot Hoot of all time though? Probably. Let me go back to all the Hoot Hoots. Is it the single best Hoot Hoot? Looking very quickly. I mean, it's the only full art one, so like it's got to be the best one, right? Twice the art, twice the art, twice the card. Yeah, I'd say it's the best Hoot Hoot just because it covers the whole card. But Hoot Hoot's got only 16, but he's got some good showing there. So thoughts are thumbs up. 4 out of 10. Come on, that's got to be at least like a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, we'll give it. 120 viewers. We are booming. Yes, we are booming. Is that you, Young Bambino, with a different handle that I'm not familiar with? I see the avatar though. Also, I want to hear about some secret conversations from past Collecticons. Spill the tea. Lots of late night, too hot for YouTube, too hot for Patreon conversations go on at Collecticon. I just don't know which ones you're referencing. Is voice meter potato a thing? I use voice meter banana. Voice meter potato. It is. Voice meter potato. I'll have to look into that. That's so funny. I opened up a tab to voice meter potato and I will check it out. I appreciate the recommendation. Yeah, I'm not too far from the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. We also have the Boxing Hall of Fame in where's the Boxing Hall of Fame? It's pretty close to me too. Yeah, Canastota, New York, even closer than Cooperstown. So we have the Boxing Hall of Fame. We have the Baseball Hall of Fame, pretty close. I'm not too far from the Adirondacks, a little bit north of me. It's a nice place. I like it. With Vintage's track record and even outperforming Modern with an even longer track record, is there a reason you prefer to invest in mass-produced Modern sets compared to Vintage? I like sealed more than I like slabs. If I had to put money into slabs, if someone like I say short plastic, long cardboard, if I had to put money in slabs, you know, I think I know. Again, a handle that I'm not familiar with, but the avatar I'm familiar with, I think. If I had to put money in slabs long term, if I had to be long on plastic, it would be in good S tier vintage stuff. It would be in your shinings, your crystals. It would be in some trophy cards. It would be in some high-end promos. It would be in base set first edition heavily. But I don't have to be. So I am a little bit. This is actually a Japanese promo that I love. Beautiful, beautiful card. One of my top artworks in the hobby. My favorite game ever is I started with yellow, so that's my second favorite. But Crystal, Pokemon Crystal was my favorite game, and the Burn Tower with the 3 legendary beasts right there, takes me right back. Beautiful artwork, like not super limited, but a pretty limited Japanese promo card, exclusive in holo, not an exclusive card. This is a trainer in like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Triumphant, or whatever. But this is an exclusive like prize, Revising Legends prize card. So it's a holo exclusive Japanese prize card. Whereas in English, it was only a non-holo set card. 133 people watching, only 28 thumbs up. Hit the thumb, people. Appreciate you, Ray. We're only at where people were talking about the new upcoming spoilers. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a ways behind. I will try to catch up. But yeah, another aspect to this too is that I flip too. So I'm actively flipping, engaging. I feel like over a 20-year time horizon, I think there are a lot of I could put, if I had to put 50 grand into something and I wanted it to have a chance to have the highest chance to go into like 500 grand, I think that would be vintage slabs. But if I had to put 50 grand into something and have a chance for it to go quicker into 100 grand, I think that happens quicker and better it interacts with my business better in modern sealed. So I like the 2 to 5 year time horizon better on modern sealed. But if I had to be passive with it, if I couldn't touch it, if I couldn't flip it, if I couldn't turn it over, I would maybe be more towards slabs. But yeah. Dan, explain how Destin booster boxes will ever go down to MSRP and why is MZ stocking hard? Red lights, please. Destin could go down to MSRP because printers exist, because consumer demand is fickle. I know it was mostly a meme question trying to lure out the red lights, but they're not going to come. Let's see. People are talking about thinking the new set will go under 200. I think the new set will go under 200. I think we'll ultimately go under MSRP. I don't, well, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, I will, people have told me you're going to eat crow, you're going to, whatever the sayings are. I will own it if I'm wrong. I will definitely own it if I'm wrong. But I will own it if I'm right too. If and when I'm right, it will be hilarious too. If and when I'm right, I'm going to do a little bit of dancing on the grave of Destin Rivals investors. It will be so ugly. It will be so dark. Look, I won't actually get joy out of people losing tons of money. I think they might, but this is something I made few notes for tonight's live stream. But this is one note that I made. I'm going to just read it. I probably should paraphrase it better, but you might not believe this. I genuinely don't care if I'm wrong about Destin Rivals going under MSRP. I think my main presumption is that, well, like, I truly think it will go under MSRP. But on top of that, if it doesn't go under MSRP, the things that I'm buying in place of Destin Rivals will do better than Destin Rivals, I think. So it's like, I'm open to being wrong, but in this universe where I'm wrong, my 151 beats it. My Crown Zenith beats it. My Evolving Skies beats it. I think that is my theory. That is my thesis. I think that I could be wrong, but even if I'm wrong, I'm doing better than the Destin Rivals investors are doing anyways. That is my underlying thesis. I think people get so hung up on, Dan is wrong on Destin Rivals. It will never go under MSRP. Further than things, okay, in this universe where Destin Rivals doesn't go under MSRP and I'm wrong, I think I will beat you. I think I will make more money. But I don't care. Like, I could be wrong. This is something that I said too. I said this before too. So if I care about downside risk. I care about downside risk. If I put 50 grand into Evolving Skies right now, if I put 50 grand into Brilliant Stars right now, if I put 50 grand into Sword and Shield or SV1 through SV4 right now, what are the odds they go down 50%? Less than 1%. Me, the bearish guy, there's less than 1% chance in the next 6 months, year, 5 years that my Evolving Skies goes down 50%, in my opinion. What are the odds Destin Rivals goes down 50%? the math doesn't work because a lot of the dummies will, oh, it's 0%, 0% chance. There's no way. You're dumb. You're wrong. I think it's 80%, 90% chance. We might disagree on percentages, but most people with brains, and I see you are lurking. We're one step closer to red lights. Let me take a sip and cool down a little bit. If you are reasonable and you think about it, the odds of the better stuff that I'm buying, early SV, things that are 2+ years old, the odds of those going down 50% are a fraction. Like, let me know in chat. Let me know in chat. Radar saying, like, I respect that. I disagree with it. I think there's an 80 to 90% chance Destined Rivals goes down 50%. But John is a reasonable guy, and he says there's a 50% chance it goes down 50%. I respect that. Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat. What percent chance that Destined Rivals booster boxes go down 50%? I could respect people saying anywhere between 10 and 90. For people to say above 90, that's getting a little too crazy. And for people to say under 10, I don't think I can respect your opinion at all if you would say under 10, honestly. Just being completely honest. The set is not 1 year old. The set is 7 months old. Pokemon, 1.2 million square feet. I know. It's not going to come out 2027, 2028, whatever. But, like, Destined Rivals might be being printed in 2028. I don't control that. You don't control that. Nobody controls that. So any reasonable, rational, sane person would agree with me. I can almost say it objectively. The things that I'm buying objectively, almost objectively, have a fraction of the odds of going down 50%. And this is the thing too. And I see a lot of percentages that I can respect. I can respect 50%. I can respect 15%. -1%. I cannot respect that. I'm assuming it's a meme. 25%, 66%, 75%. At the end of the day, it does or it doesn't. But like this is why I'm not buying it. Because we don't know and we can't control. We don't know and we can't control. And ultimately, the things that I'm buying, what are the odds Evolving Skies goes down 50%? And here's the two alternate universes. So, in a world where Evolving Skies goes down 50%, what does Destined Rivals do? Tell me. In this universe where Evolving Skies goes down 50%, what does Destined Rivals do? It goes down 50%. Most of infinite parallel universes, most of the universes where Evolving Skies goes down 50%, Destined Rivals does too. But the other side of that, in the many universes, in my opinion, in the 80% of universes where Destined Rivals goes down 50%, how many of those parallel universes does Evolving Skies goes down 50%? There are many avenues for Destined Rivals, for Journey Together, for Surging Sparks even, for Prismatic, for Mega Evolution, for Phantasmal Flames. There are many universes where those go down 50%, become available at MSRP like every set in the history of Pokemon has been pre-Prismatic. I mean, I say MSRP, but under 100. Every set has been widely available under 100. So it's like, I think, and then the upside. So it's like, if I buy Destined Rivals today at 400, do I think Brilliant Stars will double? Do I think Brilliant Stars will go to 800 or 1,000, whatever it has to go to double? Or do I think Destined Rivals will go to 800 first? I think Brilliant Stars is going to double first. I think Evolving Skies is going to double first. Like most things that I'm buying, I think the upside is better, and I think the downside is better. So it's like, I don't care what your Destined Rivals does. I have 4 cases of it. I'm along for the ride to some extent, but I think it has a worse downside and a worse upside. So I'm not buying it. It's not that deep. It's like, I'm one guy with one set of pretty really, like, relatively intelligent, relatively experienced, relatively, like, I don't care what you do. Again, not trying to influence actions. But, like, I think most logical, rational, sane people would see the same set of facts that I see, the ages of them, the prices of them, and this and that. And I think the clearly logical answer is Sword Shield and early Scarlet Violet. But I don't care. I genuinely don't care. It is what it is. I'm gonna scroll up a bunch though and make sure that I don't lose questions. And one thing that I'll say too, is that it's great that we disagree. Because you know what I was doing last January, 1 year ago today. 1 year ago today, you know what I was doing? I was shunning $14 prismatic. I loved that the market wanted $14 prismatic because you know what? I sold my whole allocation for $14 a pack. And you know what I bought instead? I bought Crown Zenith for $3.50 to $4 a pack. Prismatic is great. I love it. God packs? Yes. Highest set value of all time? Highest pack value you can pull out of any pack of all time? Yes. I love it all. Do I want it last January at 14? No. I want Crown Zenith at 350. $4. How am I doing? I'm doing all right. I was buying 151 for $9 last February. Like, I'm doing fine. I'm gonna do fine. The things that I'm buying instead, I think I'm doing all right. So it's like these people get so hung up on like, oh, Dan's gonna be so wrong and he's gonna eat crow. I'm gonna eat. If Deaths and Rivals stays above MSRP, I'm eating. You're eating, I'm eating, we're all eating. But there are many more universes where I eat and you don't than you eating and me not eating. Because it's like, if your Deaths and Rivals is winning, how is my Evolving Skies not going to win? How is my Brilliant Stars not going to win? How is my Astral Radiance not going to win? How is my Paldea Evolve not going to win? Those are the things that I've been buying on net the past couple months in place of Deaths and Rivals. So, yeah. There are some futures where I can add Deaths and Rivals at 50% of what it is today. There is very much fewer universes, and they're scary ones. If I can add Evolving Skies for 50% in the future, again, what is destined if Evolving goes to 1,000 a box? Brutal. So yeah, I love that we value different things differently, because like when the market is insane, I sell to them. When they're insane on the other side, I buy from them. So yeah, that's wait, hold on. Holy shit, is that Cam? The Cam from Golden? Of ZNG fame? Of PSA fame? Is he the one auctioning the 510, $100 million PSA 10 Logan Paul Illustrator? It is him. He has the Squirtle Squad glasses. Nice to have you in here, Cam. I had to jump all the way down to live chat to get that. I'm going to keep scrolling and keep answering questions. Shout out to Kabuto King. I might have made some nice coins selling my sleeve near mint fossil cards. Dan is the least influencer in PokeTube. Yes. Do you take consignments of singles to sell on your eBay lives? I buy singles for the live streams. And then shout out to Spat, shout out to Bierski, shout out to Grimer. So they sell their own singles on my eBay live. They buy and sell their own singles. So like you can sell to me, you can sell to them. We don't do consignments though. It's kind of messy. We've talked about it. I think Nick does that though. So if you want to sell your singles, sell to one of us. If you want to consign your singles, I always love shouting out a friend. Old School Pokemon is there as well. But we do have the superior eBay Live channel. So I think we pay higher on singles too. So sell to us instead. Cam says, if it sells for less than 50 million, I lose my job. So please bid, guys. Oh, man. Cam's not even put in his first week and he's already on the pump. You love to see it. You love to see it. What? Oh, man. Chat is always fun. Dan has only ever influenced me to drink more IPAs. Hopefully responsibly, at least. Dan influenced me to take my sub. IPA Dan is on another level entirely, and I miss it. I'll have IPAs on more live streams in the future, but it has been a while. How has the mostly B2B arc been, Dan? Do you feel like this is your sweet spot? I never envisioned myself going back to business to consumer in any large fashion. I don't think I'll ever vend at a large scale. Shout out to PokeCon in April 11th, I think, 2026, later this spring. I might have a table. I might have a table that I have a couple things out. The eBay and Fanatics guys has they might have a couple things out. So I might have a table with like the Catch 'em All Collectibles name on it, but it will be more to promote the consigning. It will be more to buy than to sell. So it'll be buying from the consumers, selling to other businesses, live streaming to the consumers through the independent contractor businesses. I think you're cool too, Ray. For as toxic as the Pokemon community can be, YouTubers are shockingly treated with a ton of kindness. Leonhardt's the only one that takes random hate. Yeah, I've been 5 years on YouTube. I've gotten over 1 million views. Not numbers like a lot of people are putting up, but I see mostly positivity. I've definitely had some random negativity here and there, but overall it's been pretty good. We're all somewhere on the spectrum, Dan. That was when I was saying I was an odd one. This is when I thought Pokemon he had 50k subs, but he has 64k plus. Yes. 150 viewers on a Wednesday. We are back to full boom. Yes, we're at 126 now, but anecdotally, very small sample size, very small channel. But like tonight's live stream is booming more than it has been in a while. It's not a perfect indicator for the Pokemon market, but it's a decent indicator. The market was booming the most. The live streams were booming the most back in May of 2025, and that's when I was getting 200 live viewers per YouTube live stream. So there's some correlation. It's not, the R squared is not 1, but the R squared is not 0 either on live stream viewership and just market boominess. Quality over quantity, said the biennial podcaster, Professor Oak. Shout out to him and Greeny with Slab Podcast. Compare yourself to OSP's YouTube. Oh, man. Devil, Dan, sell me your soul for 1 milli subs. Dan, where do I sign? Definitely never. Drama channel Dan incoming, never. I've done a couple drama type topics because I forced myself to. Like I talked about Snipe, and then I felt the moral obligation to follow up on that, and it was inherently drama video. But yeah, I did not love that interaction, but I needed to. I hope I don't have to do that again. Let's see. Appreciate you, Spat fan here, and obviously Catch 'em All fan here. Just wanted to catch one of your lives. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Devil's Blood. When are we looking for Bigfoot in the woods live stream, Dan? It's like a thing around me. There are a lot of... I can think of at least... I can think of several. Within 10 miles of me in any direction, there are people that have like I live out in the... more in the farmland than the woods. But like people have plywood cutouts of Bigfoot that they put like on their lawn, or they put like in their wooded area of their property. So like you'll be driving down some side road, and you'll look, and it's like, is that like, it's just a silhouette of Bigfoot that someone has as like a lawn decoration. That's like a thing. That's like, there are in my county there are probably like 100 Bigfoot, maybe not that many. Maybe there's 100 Bigfoots. I definitely don't know of all of them, but I definitely know of several too. Everyone's running the same race at a different pace. Similar to my saying that I say, like, we're all in the same arena playing different games by different rules too. So I don't think we are running the same race. I think we're in the same area. I'm just gonna go back to my day. And we're in the same arena, but we're playing different games. So it's like we're all on the same track. We're all on the same like race track, but we're not really running the same race. Some people are trying to go only for the longest distance possible. Some people are trying to do their 100 meters as quick as possible. Some people are trying to do a mile. Some people are trying to do a decathlon or a marathon or whatever. Let's see. Then go watch Battle of Helm's Deep, then come back to the live. Question was looking at 151 bundles and Surging Sparks BB, booster bundles or booster box last night on TCG Player to check inventory sell-through. Thoughts on Trading Card World having roughly 80+% of the inventory available, if any? I don't understand their operation. They're a name that comes up from time to time. I'm familiar with like the name, but I don't know their operation well. They have a lot of inventory on a lot of things oftentimes. So they're big though. I am so far behind in chat. I'm gonna try to catch up. Sam says more in the farmland than in the woods. What's your address? I'll make that decision. Oh man, my PO box is public, so that gets you in the vicinity. CPA here, they get treated like capital gains and losses, so you net proceeds against cost basis. That was talking when you like buy a couch or whatever, if you sell things for loss. Yeah, different business versus individual, different by location. Sales tax nexus, yeah. As a business like James or you, why are you not required to send people a 1099? Because you're paying me. If you send this card to me and we sell it for $4,000 and I return to you 95% of the sales price, you are paying me 5%. I'm not making 5%. Fanatics cut is out of that too. But like you're actually paying me. I'm just returning you your proceeds. So that's the, like I've ran that by my accountant. I've Googled that. I've watched Not Your Dad CPA. As a consignment operation, like I don't have to 1099. eBay, Fanatics, if you sell yourself on eBay without utilizing me or without utilizing James or something like that, then you will get your own 1099. But the consignment thing, it's like we take your 1099 for you and we just give you money. So yeah, that's not advocating for anything as always, but that is a statement of fact. That's how it works. My favorite time of year, holiday stress ends and tax time begins. Yes. At the end of the day, what do you think happens to all these crazy low value CGC cards? Do they rot in mystery bags, end up in a landfill? I think most end up in a landfill. This is a question that I've asked before that I would love to know the answer to, but I'm not good enough with like big data to know how to tackle the question. My main question is like, what is the recidivism of slabs? Like when a slab, I think the higher the value, the more likely the card is to be sold more frequently. But like most of these things, tune into Whatnot, tune into like watching this degen like 6-second sudden death CGC slab, or eBay or Fanatics or wherever. Those ones are more likely to just be bought one time and then like consumed, taken off the market forever. I would love to know how many times does the average slab sell, and I would love to do a correlation between its value, correlation between like CGC, PSA. What is the recidivism? And it's harder with like digital rips. It's harder with like all these different things. But like, how many times does the average card sell? I think it sells a lot less frequently than most people realize. But yeah, I just don't know how to handle big data that well to try and tackle that question. That would be like a card ladder thing. That would be like someone that scrapes eBay, scrapes all these things. It's harder now though, with power packs, with instant rips, with Courtyard, with Arena Club, all these things. But yeah, truly, most of the cheap stuff will just disappear. They will be consumed and gone forever, in my opinion. Catch 'em fishing trip when? We should figure something out. This April's not great for it, but PokeCon is happening April 11th weekend. I wouldn't mind getting people to come to me, having some kind of an event once or twice a year. It would be nice if I had bigger conventions near me to do it around, but we'll have to figure a time. Hit up the Adirondacks and get a fishing trip in. Dan's Discord for people who can't read good and want to learn to buy cards good too. MetaZoo 2 or My Little Pony cards, which one lasts longer? MetaZoo 2, I would say. Quote of the year so far. Maybe you can tell by the way that I speak, but I'm not a big book reader. Oh, man. I said that so long ago. I'm so far behind on chat. How much free Pokemon cards and what products would it take for you to shave your beard completely off? I don't know. I don't want to shave it off, so it's like it would probably take you'd have to move the needle in some respect. It's like is that like forever or like a one time and then I can grow it back? Like forever, it would be a lot of money. It would be like many thousands of dollars if I could never grow a beard back. Probably tens of thousands of dollars. I don't like having to shave. It's not even like having a clean shaven face. It's the process of keeping a clean shaven face that I wouldn't want to deal with. I used to be an engineer. I used to have to wear a full face respirator, so I had to shave. And even then, I had stubble all the time, and the safety guy would get mad at me, and I'm like, just do my fit test. I'm gonna pass, and I would always pass my fit test, but I'd get in trouble for having a little bit of stubble. It's like, this is stupid. But yeah, having a beard is more just being lazy and not wanting to shave. But also, when I have to snow blow in the winter, very nice for that. We went sledding with the Cub Scouts the other day. Very nice being out in the cold. Do you think anything could change the sentiment on Destined Rivals, new Team Rocket cards, better Team Rocket Pokemon, massive reprints? Yes, that's the thing. Like, multiple things can make Destined Rivals fall 50%. Printing, fickle consumer demand, broad market conditions, those would likely touch Evolving Skies too. But yes, absolutely. Should I hold my Pikachu PSA no rarity or sell for $5.75? I can't answer that question for you. I don't know your opportunity cost. Consider your opportunity cost. That is where the answer will lie. Very low pop, but how much more room you think it has to grow? Great content, by the way. I don't like, I'm short plastic, long cardboard. I don't like slabs. If I had one, I would sell it. I don't like 8s either. I like mint plus cards. But yeah, I'm not advising you to sell it. I don't know your situation, but if I had one, I would sell it. Let's see. How did you get started selling in Pokemon? So in 2013, I moved out of my parents' house. In 2014, I came across my childhood binder and I saw that I had gaps. I saw that I was missing certain cards. I think I was missing like Wigglytuff Hollow from Jungle. I went onto eBay to buy the ones that I was missing. I searched Pokemon cards and I saw like Phantom Forces. What is this? They're still making Pokemon cards. So I realized that like a lot of things existed that I'd missed. I dove back in. I had collected video games. I had collected Steins. I had Steins right here. I had collected coins. And so I had been familiar with buying and selling on eBay. The most advantageous way to meet my savings goals at the time and like still be able to collect Pokemon. I had time, but I didn't have money. So I bought large collections and I sold off what I didn't want and I kept what I wanted for free. So I did that in coins, Steins, video games, and I started doing that in Pokemon cards too. And it was way more successful in Pokemon cards than it was with the other ones. And here we are today. And I full-time Pokemon now. We're at where I talked about 24, which was a long time ago. Are you worried about the competitors as someone who offers the service? Are these guys offering the CGC Fanatics? I don't even know. I feel like I saw Ryan's Card House offering Consignment. Consignment's a great business model because it's none of your own capital at risk and it's just making a margin. But yeah, if like I know today what I make and how I do, and Consignment goes well for me. I know that someday that could be taken away from me. I know that I could lose that someday, and that's why I have many aspects of my business. Any one of them could go at any time, and many of them have gone before. Full Toad Evo, eBay Vault, MetaZoo 1.0. Watch Logan win his own card and start a liquid marketplace 2.0. Yeah. Watch Logan bet on the futures on Kalshi, end up buying the illustrator for $10 million, but for free, because he takes all the dummies' money on Kalshi. Like, the amount of double dipping, the amount of, like, things that can go on with that is just crazy. Do you think Moonbreon PSA 10 will ever be a 5K or 10K card? I think it shouldn't be, but it might be. It might truly stand the test of time. But I think 5, 10, 20 years from now, I like, if I had to bet one way or the other, in real inflation adjusted terms, I think the Moonbryon will never be 10K. I'm very open to being wrong on that, but like I think it shouldn't be. I think it's just there's a lot of them, and yes, there's a lot of people that want it, but like as time goes on, people want the newest thing, and there's the Sunbryon, and there's all the new Moonbryons, and there's all the other things. I don't know what's gonna happen. I could be wrong, but like I would bet pretty highly against it going to 10K. 5K would not be that surprising if it were to happen in a short time frame and then go down from there. But I would have bet against Gray Felt Hat being a $2,500 card. I would have bet against Moonbryon being a $3,000 card. So, like, context. I've been wrong many times before on similar things. What happens first? Does Evolving Skies go to 20K a box or Team Up go to 100K a box? I think Evolving Skies to 20, but both of those I think are so far away. But because I believe that, I have cases of Evolving Skies. I have no Team Up. If I thought Team Up would be better, I would have more Team Up than Evolving Skies, right? Talk versus walk, money where my mouth is, all that stuff. With the release of the 30th anniversary, do you think the 25th anniversary set will go up in value? Some of these things are like priced in. Markets, no, like markets are forward looking. Other people have this thought. But like saying that, during the black and white release, I think a lot of like black white era cards went up. During the upcoming Gen 3 stuff, will Rayquaza cards do well? Will Gen 3 cards do well? Maybe, probably, I don't know. I don't really play in that area. I don't really have much. I have a decent amount of celebrations, I guess, but I'm not like actively adding because of that. I think it's priced in to some extent. Oh man, D. Bruce says, Dan, why do you hate Destined Rivals so much? Show us on the dial what Giovanni did to you. I hate it so much I have it hidden back here, behind my Charizard UPC. Nice to see you in here, D. Bruce. It's been a while, but yeah, I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination. I just I like most everything else more. I ranted on it earlier, like an hour ago. Dollar for dollar, I like everything else more, pretty much. So I don't have much of that. I have a lot more of other things. I could be wrong on it, right? We'll see what happens. I'm starting to catch up. I did that one. Sell the card if you value $600 more than the card, Johnny. More appropriately, sell the card if you value the amount of money you will net after taxes, after all those considerations, fees, than the card, right? If Destin goes to MSRP, how long do you actually think it would stay at or below MSRP? Demand is too high, IMO. I don't know. I'm honestly very scared for the market. I'm scared for how irrationally exuberant and how crazy people are. If Destin goes to MSRP, it will be the most normal thing that's ever happened in the history of Pokemon, because every set has done that. Not only has every set gone to MSRP, every set's gone to $100 a box. We're not talking MSRP, we're talking 60-65% of MSRP. So it's like, I think everyone is so delusional that I actually fear for the market. If I'm right and Destin goes to MSRP, like it could stay below it for years. Do I think it will? No. But like it could. And that's like, people can't wrap their minds around that because they're so delusional over this past 12 months. We'll see what happens though. How do you trade products at even to even market and win? Trade things that are going to go down for things that are going to go up. That's not really something that I do though. But yeah, trade like if you have a Burger Chew at 300 2 months ago when you're pretty sure it's going to go down, or here's a better one. If you have Destined Rivals at 400 and you can trade it 1-for-1 for Brilliant Stars at 400, maybe Brilliant Stars is too high to do that today, but like trade the bad one for the good one, and then you'll make money in 6 months when this goes down and that goes up. That's my theory. That's not financial advice. Blah 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 blah. How much did you want to add onto your pallets but didn't because of the bull market? How much more would you add if we hit a severe downturn? Being intentionally broad for you to take it how you want. I added not much to my pallet this year. I say not much. I added not much case quantity wise. I added a lot of dollar wise. Like I haven't decided exactly how much is hitting the pallet yet. I need to talk with my dad exactly on how much he wants to put in, and I think he's like, however far you want to go with it, he'll match. So maybe we spent 80 grand this year that will go onto the pallet. But like, we were buying expensive sword and shield things. We were going back, like I said, I don't normally do, but I'd rather go back and spend 80 grand on Evolving Skies and things like that than spend it on this, right? So I added a decent amount dollar-wise because it was a good year. We were booming. I have a lot of cash flow to add to it, but I added a very small amount case-wise. I would have added more if we hit a downturn. So the pellets were born at $80 booster boxes. The pellet one was born out of $500 SV cases that people thought I was pawning off on my dad. That's how dumb people are. Dan, you're scamming your dad. You're pawning off $80. No one wants that stuff. That stuff's trash. Now, this is how dumb people are. This is how dumb the broad market is. Hold on. I got to take a sip so I don't go red light. A year and a half ago, when cases were available of main set booster boxes for sub $500, I invested tens of thousands of dollars by the pallet with my dad. And people thought I was scamming him. Dan, you're pawning off SV base Peldy Evolved at $500 a case? You're scamming your dad. You got like, that's not going anywhere. Now, today, people are falling over themselves. Dan, you're not buying $400 Destined Rivals? That's how dumb people are. When I was buying $80 boxes, they said, Dan, you're dumb. Dan, you're crazy. Dan, you're crazy. You're not buying $400 Destined Rivals? What if you miss out? What are we doing? Like, I'm going to continue selling $400 7-month-old boxes if and when boxes ever go to 100 again, and all the dummies saying this can't go down are gone by then. I'm going to buy $100 boxes again. Maybe the new floor is 120, 130. I promise you. I guarantee on a long enough timeline, I'm going to be safe there. Boxes will be available under MSRP again. Will Destined? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care whatsoever. Honestly. People don't believe that, but like, I don't care if I'm wrong. Some set eventually will be available under MSRP again, and I will buy a lot of it. I won't buy a lot of a $400 7-month-old set. If that set never goes under MSRP and in 3 years it's $800, I'll just buy it then. I don't care. I don't care. I will have made more money, is my theory, is my thought, on my stuff that I'm buying instead. Again, people just saying things that they don't. Max Burns, how long have you been in the hobby? $100 boxes aren't hitting. Ever? Into eternity? For the next 50 years you can say that? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I've been here for 12 years. Not only has every set been available under MSRP, they've all been available under 100. Evolving Skies, EX Deoxys, base set. Maybe not base set first edition to be fair, but what are we talking about? People are just delusional. People are delusional, and the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Blah blah blah. Like, and here's something too. So I have 4 cases. I'm not selling my 4 cases. I'm holding something because I know I could be wrong. But I'm not adding more. And if there was an instrument like Kalshi, like Polymarket, I would not short $400 Destined Rivals booster boxes. In today's wild world we live in, I could probably go to Polymarket. I could probably short these. I'm not going to. So it's like, I think they're going to go down, but I'm not going to bet $1 million that they're going to go down, right? I'm just going to buy the things that I value more and sell the things that the market values more. Like that's what this entire thing is. That's what this entire channel is. People are just crazy. I'm raising the voice. I'm getting closer to red lights again. I gotta cool down with the homemade sparkling water. You can get 151 booster bundles for 90 right now. That's like 600 for a booster box. That's a steel IMO. I was buying 151 booster bundles when they were 60. But if I had to, Dan, you have $600, or you have let's do the lowest common multiple. So 600, 400, lowest common multiple is 1200. Dan, you can either get 300. You can either get 3 $400 Destined Rivals boxes, or 2 well, however many it would be, booster bundles for the same $1,200. I was doing the least common multiple with 600 because you use that for, but yeah, that doesn't, no, that's 6. Anyways, I would put the money in 151 over Destined Rivals. But again, I could be wrong. The Destined Rivals could outperform. I don't care. I think the downside is lower, and I think the upside is just as high with 151. But that doesn't mean it's going to hit that way. I could be wrong. Let's see. Too much conviction in the booster box, people will just hold it. The drop would have to be 10 times the initial drop. You're just talking out your backside. You have no idea what you're saying. I don't mean to be mean, but like, some people need to hear this. Pokey Painter is probably long gone by now. But like, Pokey Painter is saying for Destined Rivals to go under MSRP, the drop would have to be 10 times the initial drop. No, it wouldn't. That's made up. That's fake. That's just like talking out your backside. Too much conviction in the booster box. People will just hold it. People never sell at a loss. Like, what are we talking about? Just stop. Just stop. Crazy. People are crazy out here. It is scary. Yeah, too much conviction. Like, people are wild. Evolving dropped 30% during the recent Pokemon flu, so to drop 50% is not out of reason to happen in a bigger downturn. Did Evolving Skies actually drop 30%? Like, market price is not a thing in Pokemon. I think we get way too caught up in line on TCG player says this, so like this is the reality. Did one singular box sell for a peak where one singular box subsequently sold for 30% below that? Probably. But was it like a high feedback versus a low feedback, a high condition versus a low condition? Like all this nuance, all these things. I don't think it actually fell 30% anywhere. We're gonna go to numbers here. It did not fall 30%. And TCG player is not perfect. But yeah, let me show this. I'm gonna call out. We're live. We can push back on bad numbers. So it peaked at 2,600. Quick mental math, 30% of that would be 750, 780. 780. So it would have had to have gone below 1,800 it would have had to gone to. On TCG Player, it went to like 22. And again, like, was it really 2,600? Did 5 boxes sell for that? How many sold? Not many sold for that. Were they real? Were they shield? Were they? And did it really go that low? Was this the TCG Player open? Was this open box 36 loose packs artificially dragging the price down? Was this people selling Eevee Heroes Japanese boxes on the English listing? Was this a dented torn wrapper? Like, it didn't actually go down 30%. But it could have. Like, it could have. Like, a month from now, it could be down 30% from where it is today. Absolutely. I'm in agreement that, like, Pokemon cards can go down. But no, people are just crazy here. People are crazy out here. No, you won't. No, you won't. If it goes down below MSRP, I'm dropping every dollar into Destined Rivals. Most people that say this have $7. You can't buy a box for $7. So I'm getting really close to red lights. One, most people that say, I'll buy it all if it goes to 0. One, they have no money. Two, if it goes down 40%, they'll panic sell it all. To me, I'll be the one buying it from you when you panic sell at or below MSRP. Like, talk versus walk, cosplay investors, blah blah, all the stuff I say. Does Prismatic perform like base set? I don't know what that question is exactly. Dan's beard has him about an inch from living out in the woods. Time frame does not matter. It declined 30% in 3 to 4 months. It didn't though. Anyways. I'm not buying Destin at 400, but I'm not selling what I bought either. Yeah, I have 4 cases that I bought for $100. I bought $600 cases from Distro. But yeah, like I see chat enjoying what I'm saying. You can go buy a $7 hot dog. If and when Destin goes to MSRP, you won't be able to buy Destin Rivals booster box with your $7, but you can check out Cardinal Games, and go buy a $7 hot dog there. That's just like harsh truth. I'm not even trying to be mean. Like I think some people need someone to be mean to them. So some people are going to harm themselves financially if someone's not mean enough to them. Like it I actually Oda Block is kind of toxic. He's very divisive in the RuneScape space, but I watch a little bit of his content because he's very good at the game. One thing that Oda said in a recent video that I watched is like when he's out in the wilderness in RuneScape, when he kills somebody in the wilderness, player kills them in the game. When he PKs someone in the wilderness, sometimes he'll flame them. He'll say mean things to them. He's like, they need it. They need it so that they can go be better. They'll make themselves better. To like people need someone to be mean to them, to tell them how dumb they are. Not well, in Oda's situation, it was like they'll use it as motivation to go prove him wrong and they'll get better. Mine is like, hopefully they'll educate themselves and realize that they have no idea what they're talking about, and they'll learn things about risk and such, and resolve that before they have an issue. But they probably won't. Who cares? Whatever. Let's see. The thing is, in this world, in this very likely world, I think, where Destin Rivals is heading towards MSRP, Prismatic is getting cheaper too. And so is Phantasmal, and so is Mega Evolution, and so are a lot of these sets all together. And there's some new set, next set, best set, that is available. I think they're like, again, I could be wrong, and I don't care if I'm wrong, because I'm setting myself up in a way. My downside is not like not making rent and being out on the street. Some people's downside, they're investing in Destiny at 400, I promise. Some of them are on Caleb Hammer getting financial audits. Some of them, their downside is divorce because of financial ruin. Some of them is divorce and not seeing their kids again because of financial ruin. That's not my downside. With or without Destin Rivals or Evolving Skies or whatever product I'm in. So some people out there are getting crazy because they're delusional, because they think these crazy things that are not true. It's scary. Let's see. If you're calling what you're able to buy boxes at market price, that's a whole different scenario. If all of its guys went down, everything goes by down 25% every day because I'm able to buy a lot of stuff at 75%. That doesn't make any sense. I'm able to sell things at a 10% premium sometimes too. So it's like the fluctuation of every item every day is 40% because I can sell 10-15% above market and buy 20-25% below market. What's the top 3 sets from SV then? I think 151. I think I would say 151. I like Paldean Fates, and then Prismatic. I don't think Destin Rivals is a top 3 SV set. That's probably a hot take, but like, I'm not a guy who's good at ranking things either, and I have a little bit of everything. Howdy, snack bread. A good howdy's always fine. Don't need to have a question. I didn't even get my work laptop in the mail until last night at 10 p.m. Talk about being absolutely cooked out of the gate. Someone is, though, Mason. I don't know who, but someone is. Grimer. It was grime time tonight. You're saying market was 3K and then market was 1,600? You're just making up numbers. Why were people out here letting the boring channel make up numbers for so long? I was so far behind in chat. It's either contract for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Cam, there's 6. You got to be caught up with the times. At the end of the day, it's buying Dan a nice 4th vacation home, so who cares? I'm making a lot of money right now, but I promise the employer independent contractor split is very, very more than fair. My guys are the most compensated in the space, and I can nearly guarantee that. With respect to like percent of profit, I can't guarantee it, but they're up there. When is the Illustrator Pikachu auction happening? It's live on Golden right now, and it ends in like 38 days. I'm not a big Sweet Tea fan. Rusty actually, after we visited for Charlotte last year, Rusty talked about it in a video shortly after, how Nick and I drink unsweetened iced tea, and he's like, I don't know how people do that. He drinks sweet tea, but I've had sweet tea. It's fine, but I prefer unsweetened tea. I prefer overall. My top preference is lightly sweetened tea. Live right now. Bid on it, please, please, God, please. Saw one video, sneak some politics in. Exactly what we need. Maybe we can talk about which religion is best next. Yikes. What's more important, hand size or shoe size? It depends on what you're doing, I guess. Athlete, wide receiver, probably hand size. Golden is where the auction is. Golden is being built into eBay. Yes, they're integrating them more. Squeaks has been the problem the last 2 weeks. Interesting. Do you think your Crown Zenith Prismatic Evolutions is a once-in-a-decade call? Do you think the scale of it will be smaller in all future instances of market imbalance? No, I think the current equivalent today, like, let me see. I'm trying to understand your question. Like, it was a fourth of the price, right? So it was $350 to $14 as far as like, well, again, that's doing what the boring channel is doing. That's not being fair. I was selling Prismatic for $14. I was buying Crown for $350. Crown I was probably selling for $5 or $6. So it was probably only a little over a 2x multiple. But like, I think every day there is something that is 2 times, 3 times overvalued something else. Today, what is it? Almost always PSA 10s of the latest cards. Shout out to, they don't need a shout out, they're way bigger. But Jar Chomp and Oyama, they Ricky and Jake were talking about different things, and the what do they call it? The Elite Forecast. I like how they have a bunch of different themed name segments. But I think it was Ricky's Elite Forecast was that the promo from the Charizard UPC, $300 something, is going to fall like 50% in the next few months. Those things always exist. Most people a few months ago could have called that the Burger Chew was going to fall more than 50%. Like, and to be fair, I think the odds of this falling 50% are 80, 90%. I thought the odds when the Burger Chew was 300, I thought the odds of that falling 50% were 95 to 99%. Well, like crazy high. Like, any given day. Like, I don't think Destined is the most likely thing to fall 50% of everything in the hobby. Throw in slabs and there's more. But, yeah, are you talking specifically with respect to packs, or can it count slabs? But every day I can probably call out something that will likely have within a year, and something that less likely to call out something that will double, but things that like are most likely to double. Things that I think are most likely to double today, it would be, the doubling's harder. Calling out something that's going to drop 50% is easier in most markets, I think. Yeah. Oh man. Over a long enough time horizon, do we see slabs being graded? Like grading the plastic? I don't think that will ever be a thing. Well, unless you're talking about like the card grade. Like in coins, they have the CAC sticker, and in cards they have the MBA, Mike Baker Authenticated, I believe it stands for. So grading the grade is already a thing. But he doesn't grade the slab. He grades the card for how strong of a PSA 10 it is. Let's see. I think most cards in the past 20 years pre-power packs and instant rips were sold one time or less on average, like 0.75 times per card. That's just a number that I feel in my balls, though. Yeah, I would say on average, yes. Most cards were probably sold less than one time. I even think today, most cards are sold. I think like the mode would be most cards are sold once to twice, and the average is probably less than two. I think there's a lot of people still grading, personally. Not the vast majority though. Like the vast majority are definitely going into power packs and stuff. Power packs, it's not entirely fair because they can be bought and sold back so easily. So like I think the amount of times they'll go to market is a lot higher inherently. But as far as like physical possession, someone physically holding and possessing a card, I think even in the age of power packs, I think that will average less than two. But if you count selling, ripping, selling back, ripping, selling back, if you count that as 10, then yes, it's going to be a lot higher than 2. Some people like the old MetaZoo, some people don't like new MetaZoo, and that's entirely fair. Some people like the new one and don't like the old one. Many people don't like either of them, and let's see. I'm so far behind, he says with panic in his eyes. I'll try to rush through these. Spends 3 full minutes talking about shaving his beard and how that relates to being in the snow. He's in no hurry, Cam. What is he gonna do if he gets done here? Do work. RuneScape will stay with you there. Sailing, a new skill came out to RuneScape like a couple months ago. I've still not sailed the high seas of Gillinor. I have level 1 sailing. I like this year 2026 I've played 0. 2025 I did not play much because it was too expensive to play RuneScape. We were booming too hard. Let's see. Do you only use card ladder for comps when buying slabs, or do you use free options like 130 point or price charting 2? Card ladder needs a membership to check, so I'm just wondering if the others are just as good. This is very biased towards me and my outlets, but GameStop power packs live and die by card ladder. Fanatics instant rips live and die by card ladder. So I live and die by card ladder. Market price is not a thing, but if billions of dollars of liquidity, millions of dollars of liquidity, use card ladder as gospel, I will use card ladder as gospel. So that's what I'm doing. RuneScape turned 25 a few days ago. Yeah, it's crazy. I've listened to a lot of different RuneScape lore videos. Yes. Oh no, I jumped to the bottom. I'll find it though. Recently sub, nice job with the content. I appreciate you. No, Brad, that is not my alt. Let's see. I actually think it's crazy that Dan doesn't think Destin Rouse is a top tier SV set, but at the same time, I don't care about Dan's opinion, which puts me in quite a conundrum. One thing, like, I can tell you what our stream thought were the best SV sets. I think that's more valuable than my anecdotal information, right? And then, obviously, these are 2025 total sales. It's unfair to compare certain sets to other sets because, like, they've not all been available the same amount of time. Destin Ravels was available since May. Phantasmal Flames wasn't available as long. But in 2025, we sold 25,000 packs of Prismatic. We sold 16,000 packs of Destined, 15,000 packs of 151, and Paldea Evolve was next, Paldean Fates was next. So that's like what the streams say were the best sets, right? One, I won't spoil this one here, but one thing that I do is I monitor like hype decay of a set. This is more of an evil paywall type thing, but I'll give you a little teaser. So I look at a set. I only have Journey Together to Phantasmal Flames. I'm gonna add more as they come, but in the first 5 days of set release, Journey Together sold 1,500 packs. In that same time, Destin sold 6,200 packs. So 4 times as much as Journey. That's one anecdote, one live stream operation. Pricing is different, all these different things. But like, I think it's interesting. And I have the data for like every set. So when I see a set like 30 days later, how much is it selling? Is it more of a Destin Rivals? Is it more of a Journey Together? Like I actually have that data, and it's something that I look at, and I think it's very valuable, very interesting. But it's a little bit too hot for YouTube, I think. More that's gonna show up on the paywall. But I want like years worth of data. I want dozens of sets worth of data. I think Walmart and Target, I think a lot of people still honor MSRP. Botters are still a thing, right? Pokemon Center still honors MSRP. So it definitely exists. GameStop doesn't anymore. Like, more are dropping. How are you enjoying the biodigital convergence? I don't know if I know exactly what that means, but I'm enjoying it, I guess. Thoughts on betting Bitcoin to hit 120K this year, 1.86%, 1.86 times on Kalshi. Tempting. I hold some Bitcoin. I'm not actively buying Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin. I am not gonna engage in Kalshi, the other apps like that. I used to do DraftKings. I used to do FanDuel, but I'm definitely a gambler. I just don't want to have them on my phone. I did download Kalshi at New Jersey, but I didn't put money in it. It was wanting too much information. I just didn't go for it. It wanted like social security number and everything. Let's see. How much do you think my collection is worth? I have no idea. I can't remember which one of the takes you had. I'm very bad with names, especially when it's just digital names. Literally, who cares? uh, he asked if I just started collecting, so I was curious what he thought my collection was worth. I've been here since March of 2024. Yeah, I don't actually mean to be mean. I think some people need to be. I think some people need people to be mean to them, so they get their heads out of their butts, out of the sand, out of wherever they are. But I frankly, like, I genuinely don't care. I think passion comes through. I think the red lights come on, but like, I don't care nearly as much as most people watching do. I will not be affected if Destin Rivals doesn't go down to MSRP. I will not be affected if it does go down to MSRP in any majorly negative way. I'm ready for both outcomes. I'm logical, sane, and rational enough to know that both outcomes are possible. And many on the other side that think that Destin can't go to MSRP, they will guarantee that it can't, which is just plain delusion. They have no control over that. They have no knowledge of that. So it's like, I get passionate about it just because, like, it is actual delusion. It is people thinking they have knowledge and control over things that they have no knowledge or control over, which is dangerous. Like, it might pan out fine. You might be fine. You might make a bunch of money, but like, it's just very flawed thinking. And over a lifetime, having that kind of brain, making those kind of calls, you will eventually get caught, and it will just be bad. Oh man. Oh, this back and forth, that's hilarious. I'll settle a loss right now, yeah. um if you, Max, if you think I'm a pumper, like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the channel that you're on. It's funny because, like, I have a lot of this. I have a lot of this. I am very financially tied to Pokemon, but like, how many bag pumpers have their financial buckets above them? How many talk about building emergency funds, setting realistic financial goals, and reducing expenses, and employer matching funds into 401ks and IRAs, and Roth versus traditional, and like it yeah. I don't think I need to go on. Those who know, and those who don't know will never know. So I know this varies by state and situation, but any advice on setting up an LLC or S Corp? Should I do it myself or use a service that does it for me? Highly dependent on your location, highly dependent. One thing that I will say, many people go for LLCs or S Corps that don't need either. And to be like a little bit educational too, this was news to me a couple years ago. I didn't know. An S Corp is an LLC that is filed an S election with the IRS. So an S Corp is like a subset of, it's a special kind of LLC. It works best for me because I'm making a decent amount of money, and I'm pulling a bunch of money out of the business, and I'm able to save money. I'm able to save money on FICA payroll taxes because I pay myself a salary and I take a distribution for the additional money. That's where the savings comes. A lot of people set up an LLC that don't need one. Sole proprietor would work perfectly fine. There's no liability that you're limiting in many instances in the Pokemon space. The way that many people operate their LLCs in and outside of Pokemon, they pierce the corporate veil anyways. If and when something happened, they would be pursued legally individually anyways because they're piercing the corporate veil. So it's like an LLC for many people is just additional red tape that you don't need to go through, additional expense, additional exposure, all that stuff. So yeah, like, it might be best for you, but many people that it is not best for jump right to it because they think they have to, and you don't. Mason's dropping all 7 of his dollars on a hot dog. We're getting less of a backlog. Red lights on. The modern collectors are here. The modern investors are here. The cosplay investors are here. If I had the ability to buy them that low, I would have definitely bought some. I bought some like too early. I bought a couple cases at like 10 and a half, 10.5. So $17.50 each. I guess I bought closer to that than I realized. I want to say I bought a case at 10.5, and I think I bought a couple cases at 11.5, which is obviously closer to 2,000 a box. But I added on net 2 or 3 cases of Evolving Skies in the past few months. So I added some too, but I didn't get as low as you got. And I added cases too, so a little bit of a premium. I'm always on the lookout for the future ex-wife selling their husband's collection for a 90% discount. Yikes. Newer people, please ask more questions. This is fun. Are you worried about the supply of prismatic affecting seal growth long term? No, like I have X amount of prismatic. Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how much prismatic I have, but say I have 8,000 packs of prismatic. My thesis is that prismatic will get fairly substantially cheaper. So if and when it does, I will go from 8,000 to 12,000 to 20,000 packs. In the meantime, I'm selling prismatic. Through the live streams, we're selling prismatic almost every day. So I'm adding what I'm selling plus more as the price goes down. And like I had 15,000 packs of Crown Zenith when it was $4 a pack that I was buying it for. And now that it's, what is Crown Zenith on my list? $15.91 a pack. Now I've sold down a decent bit. Now I'm down to like 6,000 packs. And now I just buy it at 80% of market, sell it at 100% of market, and iterate from there. But I think lowest Destined Rivals goes is $1,800 per booster box case and $300 booster box case. That might be where it goes to at its lowest. I don't know. I think it will go lower, but like, I don't care. I know I don't care as much as you do. I know that I don't know, which is further than a lot of people. A lot of people think they really have it figured out. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Battle Styles and Chilling both hit 160, then Evolving hit 160-ish. All three went sub 100. Yeah. Yeah, I sold my original allocation of Battle Styles for 900 a case. I sold for 150 a box out of the gate, and that was insane. Appreciate you, Studio. CP6 is something that's hard to go that far back to. One of it is like, part of the reason too that I've said that like I don't go back that often is I value highly the fact that my 4 cases of Destined that went into my pallet, I have the highest certainty possible that those are 4 cases of Destined Rivals. If I try buying a 10-year-old set, I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm good at identifying resales and fakes and this and that. But like, it's scary. It's scary buying a $10,000 case of Evolving Skies and knowing that there's some percent chance that I'm gonna get duped. It's scary. I like adding stuff from the pallet. I like adding stuff that I bought directly from wholesale myself. But obviously it's not possible at this point for old sets. Japanese is never possible because I don't have it. Which gets the MSRP first, Destined or Prismatic? So, and this is something that I'll say too. I think the first domino to fall will be Journey. Journey or Mega, or like the most likely sets to MSRP first are Journey, Mega Evolution, and Phantasmal Flames, in my opinion. None of them might hit it. I could be wrong on all of them. But like, if I'm wrong, I think it will be Destined or Prismatic that I'm wrong about. I think Prismatic will be the last one to get the MSRP. So I think Destined will hit it before Prismatic, but they are the 2 least likely to hit it of the ones that have not yet hit it, in my opinion. So it's like, I will cede some ground. I know that I could be wrong. But again, the delusional other side, guarantee it will never go under this, never go under that. Like, people are crazy. It's kind of annoying. I understand why though. Like, it's kind of annoying that every live stream ends here. But it's a choose your own adventure, and we're adventuring into the darkness every time. I was enjoying the live, but I think I'm gonna go watch Star Wars and list cards like a normal person. It has a market range. It has a market range. Market prices exist more for more fungible things. Fungibility is the ability to exchange one item for another. But like, we know that like old certs and new certs mean that all PSA 10s are not the same. But like, here are 2 PSA 10s of the same card. These are not perfectly fungible. One of these will have scratches on the slab. One of these will be slightly more off center. Like, there is a card ladder price for these. There is a last sold, there is a low list. There are things around market price. There's a range, but there is not a singular market price. Whereas something fungible like Apple stock, like Tesla stock, something fungible like $100 bill, those have a market price and they have functionally infinite liquidity and fungibility. So like, market price is more of a thing where it's more fungible. But like a booster box, the booster box is worth something right now. Now it's worth less. Now it's not the same as it was. Like, in one box is not the same as the others. They're not fungible. So it's like, market price is never going to be a thing. There's an eBay price, a TCG player price, a Facebook. Like, there's different prices everywhere, and there's a range. The more fungible it is, the tighter the range, But the most fungible things in Pokemon are nothing like actual fungible goods or items like stocks or like $100 bills, like currency. Peak fungibility. I mean, like, Crown Zenith shouldn't have been $4 given what we know now that it rose to double digits. That seems extreme. Do you think those extreme imbalances to the upside are going to get smaller over time? Well, inherently, like, if everyone are crazy, if everyone's crazy and keeps paying $400 for these things and doesn't let the market go to where it should be, and I know how crazy it is to say what something should be, but yeah, we're gonna see less 4X's if out of the gate things are double and triple what they normally are. This thing is 4 times what every other booster box in the history of Pokemon pre-prismatic was. This thing is 4 times. So it's like, how is something gonna 4X when it's already done it? Like, people say this is the next evolving. It will never be evolving because evolving went from 100 to 2,000. I don't think this is gonna go from 400 to 8,000 in the time frame that evolving went from 100 to 2,000. Part of the reason evolving was so good was because it was accessible at a reasonable price, like every other box ever. Like, if all this future optimism is priced into everything moving ahead, and the new normal is never under MSRP, inherently the returns won't be as good, right? Because your entry point is double, triple, quadruple what it used to be. So, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Let's see. I'm almost caught up. We probably will wrap by 1 a.m. If you have any final questions, get them in there. I'll probably go another 10 or 15 minutes or so, tops. Once early Scarlet and Violet goes up, newer sets will gain some traction later in the year as people anticipate the 2020 sets going out of print. Okay. I don't know. I don't know you at all, the Boring Channel, but like, there are a lot of dumb and lucky people here today in the market. To some extent, like, I'm kind of crazy, kind of dumb, kind of risky what I've done. A lot of where I am today is luck. Like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I'm not ashamed to say a large portion of like what I'm doing in my life today, where I am financially, luck. It's luck that I heard people talking about Bitcoin at some point, that I was introduced to that. It's luck that I found my binder when I did and got back into Pokemon at the right time, and there was a tailwind for the 11, 12 years I've been in the hobby. But like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We all have our own opinions, and we all have our own way that we talk about things, and I disagree that evolving went down 30% by what I would deem market price. But market price is inherently loose. What it means different things to all of us. Anyways, who cares? Two wise men on a podcast long ago, the Never Punish podcast, one of my favorites of all time. Who cares? I make it sound like I care more about the price of Destined Rivals than I actually do. The people asking me every 2 weeks, I promise you, I wish we could go a whole live stream. 2 weeks from now, I'll be live. 2 weeks from today, I hope we don't talk about Destined Rivals. I wish we could go and talk about, like, doing business at a higher level in Pokemon. I wish we could. There are many times I wish chat would ask better questions. Shame on you, chat. You guys ask some bad questions, and we always go to the same ones. If I were a better content creator, I could just go up here and dance for you guys and entertain and perform. But I'm just not that good of a YouTuber, apparently. So I'm stuck just doing this Q&A, and you guys just always go down the same path. So here we are. See you guys in 2 weeks again. I'm gonna wrap up still. I don't have them all done. Pokemon could grow a lot from here. The perma bull case for Pokemon, I'll make a video on it next month in my channel. Like and sub if you're enjoying your time here. But we're printing 12 billion cards here right now. Bull case for Pokemon, they genuinely might be printing 50 billion cards a year in 5 or 10 years from now. The hobby might grow that much more. We might look back on Scarlet and Violet like we're looking back on Sun and Moon now. Destined Rivals might be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Who knows? Nobody is the answer to that question. Who knows? But we'll see. We also could be printing 6 billion cards a year. The hobby could retract 50%. We could be looking at the 2020s in Pokemon cards, in graded cards, like we look at the 1980s in graded coins. And that's dark. Walmart has third-party sellers, so I don't know. I think Walmart themselves still sell MSRP as far as I understand, but they have a lot of third-party sellers on their platform. It's hard to say. Like when I make the claim that I think Destined Rivals will go under MSRP, I'm not going to claim victory. If I go to a show and I have 5 different vendors selling me Destined Rivals private cash deal where they're evading taxes, I'm not going to claim victory over Retro because I buy 6 of these for 160 a piece, which is like a couple dollars below MSRP. If the box is 200 on TCG Player and 195 on eBay and Hills Wholesale's 190 or whatever, and I buy a couple local for 160 a piece, that is not widely available. That is not market price under MSRP. So it's like a little bit, to you functionally, market price was that, but like broadly speaking, no, it wasn't. Like it wasn't widely available. Other people couldn't have achieved that reasonably. So we're talking about 2 different things. It's semantics. Who cares? Who cares? Buckets are wide. Dan is best. Even if you're an LLC, if you're single member, it still passes through and is on your 1040. Yeah. Follow-up question. So would it possibly make more sense to just operate as a sole proprietor and get a reseller's license? My current selling activity is currently very small scale, but I hope to ramp up. I am not like a financial advisor. I am not like a tax attorney. I don't know what is best for you, truly. But one statement of fact that I can make, many people that go for an LLC do so without any benefit to them, with only cons towards them, with only increasing their administrative fees, administrative work to do, increasing the red tape around their business, sometimes losing anonymity, things like that. So I'm not going to advise you become a sole proprietor. I would advise you consult with a professional local to you who can know your particulars and know what is best for you tax-wise, know what is best for you in many regards like that. But yeah, I would caution you jumping straight to S Corp because you heard me say S Corp. I chose S Corp for very particular reasons after consulting with my CPA and a tax attorney. I don't think they printed Crown Zenith as much as Prismatic though, but I get your point. I think much more Crown Zenith was printed than Prismatic Evolutions. Crown was printed for its full cycle, right? Well over 2 years. Prismatic has only been printed for 1 year so far. In the 1 year that Prismatic has been printed, do we really think that they printed more than the 2 years of Crown? I don't think so, myself. But maybe they did. I think they are printing more today than they were 2 years ago. But 1 year ago, they didn't print as much as they did 2 years ago. Like the current record print run until we get the new data in July, which I think will be the highest yet. The current all-time high for printing was like peak Crown Zenith printing time. So I think they've printed to date Now, if you say something else, maybe you're saying this. 1 year after release, does Prismatic today have more than Crown had 1 year after release? That answer is probably yes. But that's two different things. And that's a guess. Like, I don't know that. I don't know that. I wish I knew that. What's the likelihood that Celebrations creeps up to 30 plus a pack after the 30th anniversary set comes out? I don't know. Again, the market's forward looking. Some amount of that is priced in. I have a decent amount of Celebrations, but we don't sell a whole lot of it on the live streams. We sold in 2025. We sold 9 packs so far this year. Where are we? We sold 814 packs in 2025. Not a whole lot, but it sells some. Destin will still theoretically be within the reprint window when the new million square foot printers are up and running in 2028. Reprint windows is about 3 years. Some people say 2 years. I say 2 years quite a bit. Some people say set rotation every whatever time it is, 2.5 years, 2 years, depending on the time frame. Some sets have been reprinted 4 years later. Evolutions was reprinted for a long time. Certain sets came out very, very late. So I don't know. Nobody knows. That is the truth. That nobody knows. And supposedly, like 400,000 square feet of that is available now. Printers might be running within a couple months in 400,000 square feet of that, which is fairly substantial footprint, I think. Fairly substantial addition to their printing. And Millennium Print Group is one of the Pokemon printers. I don't think Millennium Print Group is the only Pokemon printer. I think they are one of them. Certainly worldwide, they're one of them. They're not doing all the Japanese, all the Chinese, and like, how much are the Japanese expanding? How much are the Chinese expanding? 1 to 1, that won't hurt Descend. But like, if Japanese triples their print run and English doubles their print run, it's not 1 to 1. But like, if Glory of Team Rocket comes out in mass, to some small extent, again, R squared, not 1, R squared, not 0. To some extent, that would hurt the price of this, right? Some amount of people, not everyone, not myself personally, some amount of people see a Glory of Team Rocket as a reasonable substitute. Some see it as an improvement. Some only buy that and don't buy any of this because that exists, right? So many moving parts that nobody knows. People are either being there's two. If someone guarantees that Destin Rivals will not go under $200, one of two things is true. They're really dumb, very ignorant of like reality. They're very oblivious, irrationally exuberant, whatever you want to call it. Or they're like just pumping things they want to sell to you in a mischievous way. Like there's no good outcome. If the words are uttered from someone's mouth, they're either a very dumb or evil individual. Like that is an objective statement of fact that I will die on that hill. That anyone that is that, I wouldn't even call it bold. Like they are very dumb or very like stay away. Don't be near individuals who will guarantee that will not go below MSRP. Because there's no good way to explain it away. And some people say like, oh, Dan's so arrogant. Like Dan thinks it blows my mind when I see people say like, this guy thinks he knows everything. No, I'm telling you that I know nothing, and nobody else does either. Well, like I've actually seen that before. Like this guy, like people hear me say, Destined could go under MSRP. 90% chance, in my opinion. Dan guarantees Destin's gonna crash 80%. Like, I need to wrap up soon. I'm one of the only ones who is frequently saying, I don't know. I don't know. I think this, so I do this. I am one of the very few. Because I think most people don't want to hear it. Most people want to hear confidence and want to hear like even if it's not founded in reality, people just want to hear like, do this, make money. I'll never give you that. I'll never give you that because I don't know. I need to wrap up soon, though. If anyone has any final questions. R squared stands for reprint squared, right, Dan? Yes. If boxes never return to MSRP and below, it would almost make sense at that point to only buy what you can at MSRP and then buy 2 to 3 year old boxes instead. Yeah, if and when I'm wrong, if and when no box ever goes under MSRP again, no box ever goes under $100 again, I will live and exist in that market. I will be just fine. I will be more fine in this theoretical obscene thing, because like my allocation, my distro allocation will just be worth, like that will be generational wealth for my children. Hey kids, you don't have to work because 12 years ago, daddy opened up accounts with GTS and Mad Al. And that just gives you $100,000 a year of free money. Literally just put in the address as DC Sports and sell everything instantly. Like, this is not going to be a thing forever. It cannot be. It will not be. If it were, MSRP will go to 300. If every box just comes out at 250 and MSRP will double. Like, I can guarantee if the next 10 years, every set is what is happening this past year, MSRP will double, but at least double in the next 10 years. I will guarantee that. If Destined Rivals never goes below 300 and no sets ever go under MSRP again for the next 10 years, I guarantee you MSRP will come up significantly to reach that. I guarantee you I will not be paying $100 a booster box for sets that are just worth 300. That is where I will use the G word, because Pokemon will gobble that up. Distros will gobble that up. We will not just be given that for free forever. I promise. Dumb and Luck is my middle name. Yes, so much future optimism is priced in. That's one thing that Rudy says that I will always push back on. Rudy says, when every box is worth $1,000, you won't care whether you paid $200 or $300. What are you talking about, Rudy? Yes, I will care if I 5x or 3.3x. There's a big difference. If I put 100 grand into something, I care if it 5x's or 3.3x's. Entry point is everything in these things, especially because if you're paying $200-300, you might have went down to 150 at some point. Like, no one wants to see something fall 50%. So entry point matters. Entry point always matters. The biggest things in investing are entry point and risk and opportunity cost. These concepts, these things that just people don't consider whatsoever. It's like, yeah, again, I don't know. I'm one guy doing my one thing. Everyone should do their own thing. Don't let what I'm saying influence you directly. Let it influence you to think. Think about the words that I'm saying. If they make any sense, maybe let them guide adjusting your thoughts. But like, if you think I'm crazy, I might be entirely wrong. I hope you talk about Destined Rivals in 2 weeks from now because it crashed down to MSRP. I don't think it's going to do it in 2 weeks. Let's say for the new printing facility is truly going to increase the print run of future sets by 50 to 100%. What happens to early SV and Sword Shield sets that we think have large print runs? Yeah, like I just said that Monday. Just in my video Monday. If you didn't watch it, if you're enjoying this, like, sub, do the stuff, all the good things. Post it in your Discords, post it in your Instagrams, all that good stuff. Pump Catch 'em All collectibles for 2025. 2026, we're in a whole new year. I'm trying to get to 10K subs by the end of the year. But that's my thesis. If the print runs increase, I think Destined Rivals, I think these more new sets, less than a year old, I think they're at the most risk. Sword Shield, early SV, I don't think those are going to be printed on the new printers. So that's what I'm buying. I could be wrong. Maybe things outperform me. And this is one thing too. I actually had this in my notes that I forgot to talk about in my YouTube live notes. I am never, I guarantee I will not be the best Pokemon investor of the next decade. Simultaneously, I guarantee I will not be the worst. Survivorship bias is a real big thing. And shout out to Alex on this one. He says it all the time. Every billionaire went all in on something. But you know what? For every billionaire that went all in on something, that dropped out of college, dropped out of high school, for every billionaire that went all in on something and became a billionaire, you know how many people lost their houses? You know how many people went bankrupt? You know how many people lost their wives from going bankrupt? You know how many people don't see their kids anymore because they went all in on business, on their business, on their job, on the pursuit of money, and they lost their loved ones? I'm never gonna be that. I could accidentally become a billionaire. I don't think I will. The odds are very low. But like I will never be the most successful, and I will never be the one crashing and burning. Because like I'm never gonna set myself up in a way to go all in on something so drastically that I could become one. Never. And I'm always gonna be diversified enough and spread out enough and have that concrete foundation that I'm never gonna crash and burn to zero either. But that's one thing you need to be careful about. Yes, survivorship bias, billionaires, all of them, they went all in on something. But for every billionaire, there are probably a million failures. How many billionaires are there in the world? There's like 1,000 or something, right? How many billionaires in the world? Over 3,000. So there's over 3,000 billionaires in the world. There's 7 or 8 billion people in the world. So there are like 2 to 3 million people per billionaire. To be fair, like I truly think most people in life, barring playing the Mega Millions when it's $1 billion, most people in life, and when taxes hit, you don't become a billionaire. Sadly, when you win $1.5 billion in the Powerball. But most people don't care to become a billionaire. I truly think. Like, how many people in life are actually trying to become a billionaire? I don't think it's that many actually. It's millions. But it's not billions. There's not 1 billion people actively trying to become a billionaire. I'm certainly not. I'm trying to become a millionaire. I've succeeded. Net worth above $1 million. I've already succeeded on that. I'm not even necessarily trying to become a deca-millionaire. I'm trying to become a multi-millionaire to the extent that I am fully financially independent. I spend 60, 70 grand a year, and I need 25 times annual expenses to do that. We're going to talk about that more in a couple coming videos. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to, and once I get there, I'm not going to take my foot off the gas entirely. I'm not going to try to not grow my wealth any further at all. But I'm not going to take the outsized risk required to become a billionaire. And I think most people won't either. But yeah, I got on a rant there. I don't even know how. More interesting question. What do you think the hobby looks like in 10 years? Are power packs still a thing? Has something new replaced them? Are rip and ship still a thing? What new thing is hot? 10 years ago, I would not have guessed about rip and ships. I would not have guessed about instant rips. I cannot theorize what will happen in 10 years. I think I'll be here in 10 years. I was here 10 years ago. I think I'll be here in 10 years, but I have no idea. I have no idea what I'll be doing. I think they'll still exist. I think they'll still exist to some extent. Will they be as ubiquitous, as big as they are today? I don't know. Do I think OJ did it? I honestly don't know much about that whole thing. I know vaguely the details of that. I was probably 5 when it was happening or something. But I genuinely don't know enough. More people more often need to say, I don't know. I haven't read the books. I haven't followed any lore about it. I know the saying, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. I know nothing more about that. I've not watched the documentaries. I've not watched any of that stuff. So I genuinely don't know. Wait, you mean me buying OP Blue Bottom for $150 back in the day was dumb luck? I don't know if it was dumb luck for you or not, but some portion of that, whatever your sentiment going into it, some portion of that would be luck. How do vendors buy 85 to 95% at card shows and then sell at market price when they have to cover the 10% sales tax? Do you think most vendors just don't pay sales tax since it is not added to the sale? The majority of vendors are not collecting and remitting sales tax. Some of them legally don't have to. Some of them legally do have to. It all depends on sales tax nexus in the state that they're in, most of which they just are ignorant to it and or intentionally evading it. It's all speculation, but some speculations are more realistic than others, definitely. Great live. Appreciate you. Just tell me what to buy and why I'm correct for buying at the top. They want to hear their opinions with better production value. Yes, this is not the channel for that. This live has been fun. I'm having fun too. Sometimes it might seem like I'm not having fun. Occasionally my wife will be like, did you have fun during that? Like, why do you do this? I genuinely enjoy these lives. I'm mostly introverted, but I guess I have enough extroversion. I ran out of my sparkling water. I need to end soon, or otherwise I'm going to lose my voice. But I'm extroverted enough that I do need these live streams. I actually need to talk a little bit here and there. Otherwise, I'll just go crazy probably. The Dan Guarantee. How's it going, Zach? Nice to see you in here. Appreciate you, Zard Lurking. Joining supporter. Getting all the emojis going there. Man, it's been a while. I haven't seen these people don't use their emojis. People got to be pumping those emojis harder. I need to make some new ones. I probably don't have any more slots though. Too many people interpret declining to take a side as if it was equivocation. They are not the same thing. That is the word of the day. I know what it means, but like I don't know what it means well enough to put it into words. Use ambiguous language so as to conceal the truth or avoid committing oneself. Yeah, I'm not equivocating. I just genuinely don't know. I see these things as like percentages, and I see my $400 locked up here. I see that being more advantageous for me to have it elsewhere. And like I know that I'm not gonna, again, it's all former engineer. It's all a multivariable equation with like hundreds of variables, few of which I have control over. So I'm putting money where I think it will perform best with minimal downside, with things that I actually enjoy, like all these things. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, Rudy is very biased for people to just buy, right? Because he's a large seller of all this stuff. He's a large buyer, but he's a large seller as well. So when he says entry point doesn't matter, buy my Sword Shield Pokemon bundle where you're buying at like 95% of market. Survivor bias rant LFG. I can confirm I'm a failed billionaire. There's tons of these stories too. And I'm one of the more excited videos I am to make. I've been teasing it for months now. I talk about my financial buckets a lot. And I talk about my personal spending once a year. In the next month, I'm going to make a video detailing my entire household personal spending. And I'm going to talk about, like, it could have been 12 grand more, and it could have been 12 grand less. 12 grand is just a round number, $1,000 a month. It's like, if I were to have spent $1,000 more a month, where would I spend that? It's very sad. I think there's so many people in life that buy, like, very subconsciously, to keep up with the Joneses. They buy things they don't need that doesn't bring them the relative value that amount of money should. Like, I don't know if people will understand what I'm saying here. It'll make more sense in the video, hopefully. But like, I think a lot of people just buy like a bigger house than they need. And then they're stuck paying $2,000 a month extra forever. 30-year mortgage, roll it into a 50-year mortgage, second mortgage, HELOC, whatever. And they're just paying, like, it's like, if you restructured things around, and again, like, I don't think about it, I don't sweat this every day, every purchase that I make. That $5, could I have gotten more elsewhere with that $5? But like big things, buying a brand new car every 3 years, 2 years. I think a lot of people default into that. And like, if you could take them out of that cycle that they're in, and if you could just insert them into a 2-year-old car, run a car, instead of running a car from 0 to 2 years old, run a car from 2 to 4 years old, and then sell and get a new 2-year-old car, and then 2 years and get new 2-year-old car, and then put that $1,000 into an extra vacation every other month. Put it into, or maybe for you, maybe it's, for everyone, it's different things. Going out to eat another time a week or whatever. Like, I think a lot of people do a very poor job optimizing their spend to get towards their goals. One main goal for everyone, to like just enjoy your day to day, enjoy your week to week, month to month, year to year. But yeah, like, what are your goals in life? I have one goal. One of my many goals. I have more than one goal, but one goal specifically is to see all 50 states in my lifetime. And I consciously, like every year, like I try to add new states, and I try to spend a few $1,000 like going experiencing a new state. And that's big for me. I enjoy traveling, I enjoy eating good food while I'm traveling and all that stuff. And it's like I have the money to some extent. Like I could have bought a house that was 1,000 square foot bigger or in a nicer zip code. But then it's like that passively would have been just draining $2,000 a month that I now wouldn't have to spend on those trips or whatever, right? Like, everyone's things that they're trying to maximize are different. So there's no like perfect answer, but I do my best to try to navigate towards that ideal answer for me. And it's blending some amount of saving for the future, and it's knowing that like I might die this year, like I might not make it in next year. And some people go way too far towards like YOLO, I might die tomorrow, spend it all today, take out debt, lever up to my eyeballs, never save for the future. Their retirement plans are to just die young. That's actually a thing. And then other people are misers, financial misers. Shout out to the money guys. And they make their families not experience new things, and they don't take their families to water parks and take a week off work in a boom to go to a water park. And next month we're going to the Great Wolf Lodge, and we're going to watch a close family friend college basketball game. And it's like I'm trying to optimize for me. There's no perfect answer, but like I'm trying to find the ideal one for me and my family. And it's very interesting to like talk through it all. I think it's much more interesting to talk about things like that than things like $400 Destin Rivals. But yeah, Coast Fire. I am Coast Fire now. I am not fully Fire, and I'm not gonna retire early. But I am Lean Fire pretty much at this point. I am Coast Fire, Barista Fire. I'm pretty near Lean Fire. Within another couple years of this market, I could be like Fat Fire, probably. What's your personal opinion on amount of sealed being kept in people's closet versus the amount of being opened on ribbon ships? Do we ever get a rate in which consumption outpaces stockpiles? I don't know. I always characterize it as the immovable object being the unprecedented print runs, and the unstoppable force being the unprecedented ripping through live streams. I think right now live streams are winning. I think ripping is winning. Destin Rivals is a $400 box. So I think a lot of it's being invested in, but I think a lot, like, some people go too far one way, so some people go too far the other way. Some people think everyone is investing and nothing's ripping. Look at the pops, look at the pull rates. A lot of this stuff's being ripped. But I don't know. I don't know the exact balance. But my theories around the balance yield me like and lend to me doing what I'm doing. So it's like I'm doing what I think is best, seeing what I see, and then that leads to me having the pals. That like talk versus walk. I can talk all I want, but it's like I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm part of the live streaming. I'm part of the investing. I'm double dipping on both sides of it. And if I thought more people were investing, I would have less sealed. If I thought less people were investing, I would have more sealed than I have today. So the exact amount of sealed I have is exactly representative of how much, how I think that dynamic is, if that makes sense. And if you, well, Dan, how much do you have? Literally ask me that question and I will answer. I have a video detailing my investment pals. Ask me how many packs of any certain set, ask me how many cases of any certain set. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but that is what this is. This is a Q&A. I will answer any question. So like ask me and I will answer. But like asking this, I can't, I'm not good enough with the English language to convey exactly the answer to this. It's very complicated. But like my holdings are that answer. I think that makes a lot of sense. Dan, please don't cut your beard until Destiny Rivals booster box reprints. I'm gonna cut my beard in late March probably. So we'll see if Destiny Rivals reprints by then. Excited to go back and watch from the start as I sit here and count my 3,700 first edition fossils to consign with you in order to get my 17 backpack beers. Zorner said something in an email when he asked for a submission number for CGC Fanatics. He said he's on pace to consign X amount of cards during 2027. And I said if he did it, I would give him 17 backpack beers. Don't let me forget. If you hit that number, I will deliver to you 17 backpack beers next time we cross paths. Man of my word. You just have to remind me. I'm a forgetful man of my word. I would bet that less than 5% of vendors that card shows collect sales tax properly. The ones that do likely just include it in the sticker price. I would bet, yes, significantly less than 5%, I would guess. Can the wife make a good grilled cheese? If you don't spread Duke's mayonnaise on the bread before you grill it, you're doing it wrong. I'm not a mayonnaise guy. It's interesting because like I've made homemade blue cheese before. I realize mayonnaise is a component in many things that I eat. There are some aiolis that I like, but I don't like mayonnaise. So I don't use mayonnaise on anything. Not on burgers, not on sandwiches of any kind. Like ketchup. I don't like ketchup at all. I make a homemade barbecue sauce that's really good that has ketchup as an ingredient. I know you said you believe Sword Shield will do well, but do you still think the risk reward at current prices for new entries, Fusion, Lost Origin? I in the past few weeks I've not bought much, but in the last few months I've bought a lot. It's ticked up from where I was buying it mostly. But all depends on your opportunity cost, all this and that. If the right deal hit my inbox, I would add more. Some I would consign away, some I would keep. Favorite booster box arts? I've been looking at Japanese purely for display purposes. Remix Bout is cool. It's got the 3 starters. I'm bad with all that though. English artwork on boxes is not amazing, but there are some good ones out there. I'm terrible at picking my favorites. I don't do tomato soup myself. I believe this was the exact speech Morpheus said to Neo in the documentary The Matrix. I had an epiphany a bit ago. If Shrouded Fable is considered a shit set, not many would keep sealed, meaning that's why you should buy at least a little bit of. A few weeks later, PC dropped SB ETBs. SF ETBs must be, right? Dying young was my plan. Now I'm not so young and not trying to die. Yeah, that's... I hope that's a meme, but like I think that happens a lot. And I think a lot of people on their deathbed, I don't think they say, I wish my bank account had another comma. I don't think they say, I wish my bank account had another zero. I think they say, I wish I spent more time with loved ones. I wish I traveled more. I wish I experienced more. And I'm definitely going to try to do that while I'm relatively young and healthy and kids and family and all that stuff. If you don't mind me asking, do you have experience in other investing? I invest like heavily in tax advantage accounts. I have very passive index stuff. I don't do stock picking. I have maxed out 401ks and IRAs for the past several years. Before that, 10 years as a chemical engineer, I was putting anywhere between 5 and 15%. I think I maxed out at 20. I only ever made, my peak salary as an engineer was like 80 grand a year. So I was doing 20%, I think, my last year to max out. 20% was about 16, 17,000, whatever the max was in that year. So I have some Bitcoin. I consider that more of a speculation than an investment. Honestly, all my Pokemon I consider as more of a speculation than an investment. I do business in Pokemon. I buy low, sell high, arbitrage. But I see my pellets as speculation, not investing. I use the word investing because that is the vernacular of the space, but I do not consider it investing. I consider investing things that I'm holding for decades. Most of my investments I'll never sell. I'll likely have excess in my lifetime, and they'll be handed down, basically, donated, whatever. I always think of myself as like a pretty average investor collector, and I know how much I have. And even if 50% of the hobby is where I'm at or more, seems like a lot of seal to me, but who knows? Yeah, I I don't know. I know that I'm in the upper echelon. I'm in the top 1 percentile of holdings, I would say. I do know of many more. I know of many more with they offer me $100,000. I know of people with millions of dollars in sealed Pokemon, which is kind of scary. But I don't know of tons more. I don't know of like hundreds more people with more than I have. But what's your homemade barbecue sauce recipe? I can't share it all, but it is like a Kansas City style. It's like the thicker, sweet brown sauce. So it's got your main ingredients are tomato sauce, ketchup, and dark brown sugar. Some spices, some other special stuff going on in there. But yeah, it's tasty. Always the buckets first. Do you try to time the stock market or do you dollar cost average? I just buy. Like I'm going to do in early January, I'm going to do lump sum, max out my 401k IRA, max out my wife's 401k IRA. I'm going to do Roth IRA contributions for both my children in the next week or two. Not timing, it's just going to be like when cash flow is right, I'm going to do it. So yeah, I don't time it at all. But I do lump sum in January. Time in the market beats timing the market. I love to do Pokemon collectibles full time, but my job is too lucrative and 2 kids. See, that's the thing. My job was like engineer, chemical engineer. Sounds like it makes a whole lot. 80,000 wasn't bad money, but like I'm making more money. I'm making more money doing this than I was being a chemical engineer. Now that you are a millionaire, did your wife quit her teaching job and just the co-owner of the Ketchum brand? I told my wife whenever she's ready, she can quit her job. There are tasks that she could do. She is the vice president. She does do tasks right now. She is on the payroll. She maxed out with solo 401k. She gets 25% company match through Ketchum All Collectibles into her solo 401k. But I told her, like, and the big thing for her is like fulfillment. This job is not that fulfilling. It's not that fulfilling to put cards in plastic and sell them on live streams and sell them into mystery packs and whatever. So I think she would be lacking the fulfillment thing. But I told her whenever she's ready, she can quit. We're good. We're good. Like, she can quit. She's not taking me up on the offer. Our kids are still in elementary school. They go to the same school that she works at. So like, that's a big motivation for her to stay where she's at too. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with respect to that. She's free to do whatever she wants to do. And I hope someday, like 10 years from now, 10, 12 years from now, my kids will be graduating high school. My kids will be hopefully moving out of the house at some point in the next 15 years or so. And it would be cool for us to both have very flexible jobs. Her job, as far as like being a full-time job, there's a lot of time off. It's great for her to have summer off. It's great for her to have all the holidays off, all the Mondays, all that stuff. It's flexible. We utilize that a lot. I take my foot off the gas a lot more in the summer than I do in the winter. But yeah, like when the kids graduate high school, I really want her to have something flexible, and I really want to travel significantly more than we do now. But yeah, we'll see where life takes us. Health insurance is a massive problem for me since my wife does not work. I joke about having a sugar mama. She makes basically what we spend per year, and then she also has health insurance, and then everything I make, which is a lot, is excess. It's all saving. It's all into our buckets. It's all into our Pokemon pallets and stuff. So yeah. But there are options out there. There are full-timers in this space that don't have a sugar mama spouse with health insurance, and I've been glad to have it be a blind spot. I told my wife to give me at least 90 days notice. Give me 90 days notice of whenever she wants to quit, because I need to become a lot more educated on our options for healthcare. We make a lot of money, so it would probably cost a lot of money, but like sanity, her enjoyment in life, if she ever started hating her job, I would want her to be able to leave and we would figure something out. We would figure something out health insurance wise. Warren Buffett says dollar cost averaging is for idiots. Yeah, Warren Buffett says a lot too. Let me fact check that. Warren Buffett, dollar cost averaging for idiots. I think he also says like most people are idiots, so most people should too. Relatively speaking, most people. So yeah, context. Because I know Warren Buffett is a big proponent of index funds, passively dollar cost average index funds for the average layman, which most people in here are the average layman when it comes to average layman with very little money. Like Warren Buffett would say, if Warren, if you're out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Warren Buffett would say if you're making 50 to 100 grand a year and you've got less than 6 figures, especially in your 401k, you should be dollar cost averaging through your payroll. You should be putting into index funds. Worry about your income. Worry about your income and get it to where you have a reasonable income. And then once you have six, seven figures of capital, then worry about buying specific things and this and that. He considers dollar cost averaging dumb for wealthy, sophisticated investors, but he recommends it as a smart, simple strategy for average investors. So again, the boring channel. Again, you saying something very out of context, very like, this is not just semantics. You're actually like quite horribly misquoting him, I think. Very common misquote too. Because the average person, he would say most of them should dollar cost average into broad index funds. He made a challenge very publicly a while ago that like no one is going to beat. Most people will not beat broad indexes over the long period of time. So anyways, I'm going to try to wrap up soon. It is almost 1:30. I racked up tons of debt when I was younger, not thinking about the future, trying to play catch up now while trying to get the business started. Thankfully, I never got into a lot of debt. I was a big saver in high school and been a big saver since. I graduated high school with like 10 grand saved up from working with my dad, and I spent it all in the first semester at the college that I went to and books. RuneScape play gets 10x. Copernicus actually said that. 3.5 hours in. Yeah, I think we're booming. I work in finance and still only invest in index funds. I don't own a single share of any individual stock. I actually was just talking to somebody at Chase recently. I think they see that my business account is doing business. They see some money passing through my business account. So they asked me, hey, you want to come in and meet? I met with one of the fancy investment advisors or whatever. They want like 1% to actively manage my funds, and I just said that's too much. But I am very high 6 figures in index funds and things of that nature. Once I get to low 7, which very, very soon, hopefully. Once I get to low 7, it's like I might look at it a little bit closer. But even having high 6 figures in passively invested index funds and in target date funds, I don't overly sweat optimizing and it's funny, it's ironic too. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I had 1,000 to 10,000, like more like 15 years ago, when I had $1,000 to $10,000 in my account, I checked the balance more and I cared more about what I was in. I was sweating, should I be in this, should I be in that? Like I have high 6 figures now and I think about it way less and I'm sweating it way less. Sometime soon though, I need to get more serious about like, should I actually be in Vanguard 2060? Should I be in VOO? Should I be in VTSAX? And on and on and on. Those will be more conversations for a future day. If you enjoyed this, like, sub, all the good stuff. I'm going to end now. It is 1:30 Eastern time. Great stream. Appreciate everyone being here. I hope to catch you all in 2 weeks when I'm live next time. Next week, live on PokeFlips. Go check that out. Yeah, like, sub, all the good stuff. Consign. Check out the links below. Sell me packs. Buy packs from me. All that good stuff is there. But yeah, with that, finally, I will catch you all.